XboxEra Podcast is powered by you, and if you want to support us, you can do so via Patreon. Just head to patreon.com/XboxEra. And as a thank you for your support, you get cool stuff, and we get to keep doing what we do. Now let's get into it.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 117 or 117 of the XboxEra Podcast. I am your host today, Nick. Nick is hosting for the day. And joining me is Jesse. But fun little story. When John told us that his power was out just before, I was frantically throwing messages at just about anyone that would accept them to jump on the show, and then no one could last minute. So you're stuck with Jesse and I. So I have to apologize in advance for the 20-minute episode of the podcast that's probably
It's not like there's been that much going on.
Because I, as you all know, am not great at hosting the show, and I burn through the topics way too fast. So it ends up being a super, super fast podcast. But anyway, let's go on with it regardless. Jesse, how you been, mate?
I have been doing very well. Lots of streaming, lots of reviews for the site. It's been super fun. And yeah.
I mean, I've been doing heaps of reviews. I've done like one for the first time in like, I think, I'm trying to remember what my last review was before Klonoa. I think it was,
I don't know.
It was TMNT. It was TMNT.
Oh, yeah. See, it has been, you've done some recently, but before TMNT, it had been a while.
Yes, before TMNT, it was like last year sometime. Working hard and hardly working. But yes, have we been playing anything?
Wow, yours was the Artful Escape back in September. That was your last one before
yes,
TMNT.
right. So almost a year ago.
You know me, I've been playing way too much. I've been playing, unlike you and John, I sort of play everything.
Yeah.
I've started up work on a Mass Effect review because I'm doing like a Game Pass backlog, and that's kind of cheating because it's only Game
Legendary
Pass Ultimate.
Edition?
Yep. We never did one. John had the code. Travis has teased him about it a lot, but we never actually got a review out for it, which was fine. Actually, we got an influencer code. We didn't get a review code because we weren't on the review list for EA back then. But I'm rectifying things. I'm going back. I started up. Mass Effect 1 holds up really well with the changes they made to the combat and everything. It's definitely not your game because it's all about the story and the cutscenes along with
that's
good
the Mass Effect that I've played.
Okay, because
I'm like, I don't know how far in I am. I started it on 360 and just kind of never went back. Like I still, my save file's still intact. I still just need to go back and play it. I don't mind it.
Yeah, the Legendary Edition would probably be worth restarting because it just plays and looks so much better than the original. They've really modernized the controls, so it actually controls nicely. Yeah, it's kind of similar.
Did you attach it to your account for free? It's on Amazon. It's part of
I did. Yeah,
Twitch Prime.
They did it for that their Prime Day stuff. So I technically own it now, but it is available for anyone that has Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play too. So that's sort of the going back through a lot of old Game Pass stuff for content for the site when things are slow, because it is the very slow time of year. Thus our episode title for tonight.
Yes.
Yeah.
For those of you watching, we're aware of the fact that it's episode 117. Now, remember, John is the one that has contacts at 343. So if anyone was going to organize someone from 343, it was going to be John. I legitimately wanted to try and get Steve Downs and had absolutely no way of contacting him because I didn't want to like, even though I'm very persistent and I annoy people about getting on the show, it's dependent on me having a way to reach them without publicly begging them on Twitter.
Yeah.
And there was no way for me to do that with Steve Downs. So that's why this isn't a Halo themed episode, but what are you going to do?
Yeah, I've been trying to. There's a Halo book coming out next month called the Rubicon Protocol been
Mm.
trying, and it's actually when you played Infinite, you know all of the audio logs during the campaign of all the things that happened while Chief was in space.
Yep.
It's the book that's all of that, like actually in a
Okay.
novel form. And people wanted that as DLC, which I get, but I've been trying to
Cool.
get a review copy of that. So maybe John's been using up all his 343 contacts on that. Haven't heard anything
Yeah,
yet, though.
he needs to get off his ass. He's got the freedom now. He needs to do
That's
something.
that friggin' guy.
Yeah, I need to start a game. Can I say that I got that game?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to start. I haven't had a chance. I've had a busy weekend. I was up very late last night till 2 a.m., which could be why I look really tired right now. I want to start Bright Memory Infinite. I've been actually quite looking forward to that game. I hear it's quite short, which is
Yeah, it's already out on PC.
perfection.
So yeah,
Okay.
it's about 90 minutes to 2 hours on PC. I've done a review of the console version that will come out closer to launch, and they've given us another code, so Nick will be able to talk about it on the show here once he's
Yes.
played it, once the embargo's up. So
Yes, I
maybe
am
next week.
very
We'll see.
much. I'm very much looking forward to it because from when they first revealed it, it looked super cool and fun, and the fact that it's short is like, as everyone knows, I love my short games, so I'm very much looking forward to it. Aside from
just
that, though, no, go.
just looking at the gameplay from PC and nothing I've done personally, it's like a Michael Bay film.
Yeah,
It's very bombastic.
looks cool. Looks super, super cool. Other than wanting to start that, I just play the usuals and throw my money away on Fortnite skins like Thor Odinson and the Mighty Thor. I don't know why I bought those. I just did because that's what I do.
'Cause
I
you
throw my
can.
money away. Yeah, I throw my money away on Fortnite skins. Speaking of Epic and speaking of getting free games, for those of you that are like me and are OCD and attach all the free Epic games, and we never talk about this on the show, but I'm mentioning this for a specific reason. Wonder Boy Dragon's Trap is currently free on the Epic Store. Attach that game to your account if you haven't already. Lizard Cube, who are the developers of Streets of Rage 4, their first project was remaking one of my favorite Metroidvanias of all time, Wonder Boy 3, The Dragon's Trap. All beautifully hand-drawn art and just, I think the game has aged okay.
It's free.
No map hurts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, not having no map kind of hurts. And it's funny. I think to myself, I remember playing Wonder Boy Dragon's Trap as a kid. I bought it on Switch when it came out, and I started playing it again, and I'm like, how did I do this as like a 8-year-old, 9-year-old with no map, and I was just wandering around aimlessly? You had to just remember where you were.
Yeah, it
And
was
I
just
have no
you
idea
ended up
how I
being
did
stuck on things a lot longer and just not.
that. Oh,
We were younger. We didn't have as many responsibilities, so you could just waste more time.
yeah, but I also remember like taking notes in the booklet and all. I used to do. That was back when I was just, I don't know, smarter.
You actually had an attention span.
Yeah, and not just a dummy like I am now. But anyway, that's what we've been playing and doing. Oh, by the way, since we also talk about this stuff sometimes, so I haven't seen Top Gun Maverick yet.
Mm.
And in preparation for Maverick, I went and watched the original Top Gun. I never watched it back in 1986. I was only 6 years old, and it was just one of those movies I never got around to seeing. So I watched the original Top Gun. Yeah, movie
No.
doesn't really
Nope.
doesn't really hold up, does it?
I mean, if you like hot guys playing volleyball, it's pretty good. If you like
That
little jets on a stick, and then they shake it in front of the camera for a lot of their action scenes, it's pretty good. But as a movie,
Yeah, it was, but like
no.
for me, it didn't even quite have that 80s charm that a lot of movies had back then. And I remember I was born in 1980. This was the time I grew up. It didn't even quite have that 80s charm. Like I was watching it and just stuff was just happening. Like there
Yeah.
was no build up to anything. There was no development for anything. You know, he met that instructor, that teacher that came, remember?
Mhm.
And 2 weeks later, she was in love with him. and that was
Oh, he's
it.
Tom
And
Cruise.
they were just in love. Like he tried to pick her up at the bar, and then a couple of weeks later, they were in love. I'm like, what's happening
It's
right now?
been a
What is
while
this?
since I watched it, but I just remember even when I was younger watching it thinking this is kind of dumb, and
I was like that
I
with
never
Star
liked it.
Wars. I watched Star Wars as a
Well,
kid. I watched Star Wars as a kid. Now remember, when you're a kid, you're dumb and you love everything. You're just excited for the fact that you're watching a movie. So you love every movie. And even as a kid, I was watching Star Wars and I was like, meh, meh. Even as a kid, I was just like, the lightsabers were amazing. But aside from that, I don't know. Just I'm sure Maverick will be great though. Like it's getting rave reviews. It's one of my favorite directors. I'm sure Maverick will be great. But I
yeah,
wanted to watch
everyone
Top
has
Gun.
said they really love it.
Yeah, I wanted to watch Top Gun in preparation for Maverick, and oh man, that is definitely a product of the '80s for
Yeah.
sure. Now,
We did get a couple of super chats if you wanted to hit them up.
did we? Oh, we did too.
Yeah,
Yes,
we
I
got
did
2.
see those pop up. Yep. Okay. Dan Murphy. Aussie. Dan Murphy. Oh my God, Dylan Murphy. You know how? And Dylan is probably laughing right now at the fact that I said Dan Murphy. Dan Murphy is a liquor chain here. There's an alcohol seller down here. It's called Dan Murphy's. I'm sorry,
You don't
Dylan.
even drink.
I don't. And I was talking about, I had dinner last night. I had a birthday dinner last night and we went out and everyone was asking me, hey, Nick, you going to have a drink? I'm like, no. And they're like, why not? I'm like, I don't drink. I just don't drink. And they're like, really? Why? I'm like, I just don't like the taste of it. Dylan, I'm sorry. I'm sure you'll have a bit of a chuckle at the fact that I called you Dan Murphy, but yes, I'm sorry, Dylan. Dylan Murphy, 117. Woo. Love the channel. S tier production. Don't know if it's S.
What?
I wouldn't go S. I mean, B plus for sure. 100% for sure.
You
S,
go
I
and
don't
watch
know.
a bunch of other ones. We try.
I don't know about
At the
S.
very least, we try. I've got all these dumbass green screens, like money dropping whenever someone does a super chat now. Good.
Okay. Somnia. Any excitement for As Dusk Falls from either of you? Also, Jesse officially on camera. That's worth $10. Yeah, thank you very much, Somnia. As Dusk Falls, I might give it a run. I mean, it's coming out on Game Pass, and I'm sure it'll be one of
Mhm.
those games where you just play it for the 1,000, hopefully.
It is
So yeah,
52 gigabytes, by the way,
really?
because I can't tell you why, but I understand it now. We'll have a review coming closer to launch whenever that. I actually don't know when the embargo is. It's John is working on it. So
Yep.
I can't say why, but yes, I am excited for As Dusk
Oh
Falls
wow.
after talking with
Can
him.
I skip all the cutscenes?
It's literally a game of cutscenes. So
Yes.
you could, but you'd have no idea what choices you're making.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I'll get the gist, won't I? Just in little
Mm,
snippets of scenes, I might get the gist of what's going on.
I'm gonna guess no because it's from they did that kind of funny presents
Yes, I
with
saw that.
Xbox
Yes.
thing. Yeah, it seems like a dense narrative that can really branch a lot. So
Okay.
that's
Interesting.
probably why it's so big because it's 8 years she's been working on it in some fashion.
Wow.
I'd imagine full production wasn't that long, but
Yeah, yeah.
like she left Quantic Dream or I think that's the name. The
Yeah,
the
Quantic Dream.
the ones who make those awful games that everyone seems to
Yeah, yeah.
like Detroit. She left
Like Heavy
them
Rain.
and wanted to start doing this, and it was a very long time ago. She had the idea, and yeah, I'm pretty excited for that and for the Forza Horizon 5 DLC,
Hot
which is coming
Wheels.
out on
Mm,
Tuesday. They showed the
yeah.
map. You see it? It's very contained. It's not like an open world. You can't go off the track this time, it seems like, which
Okay.
is cool. It's got
Interesting.
4 distinct biomes and then a centerpiece. Actually, I could probably
Yeah,
bring it up
yeah.
if I
Don't use that word, please. Don't use
it's
that
a
word.
real word that's used in everything, man. I'm sorry if Returnal
No,
ruined it for you, but biome is a
such a
real
gross
thing.
word. It's like moist. It's just such a gross word.
It's got
As
one
Dusk
moist
Falls, though,
biome.
As Dusk Falls, though, looks stunning. Like I
Mhm.
love that art style. I don't need all my games to look.
That mix of the animated 3D stuff with then they very much it looked like they acted everything out and then referenced that to make like watercolors of all the
Looks so
characters and
nice.
yeah, it looks really cool.
Looks super super nice. I really like it. Hold on. I've just got a DM from someone.
Hmm.
Hold on. This would be funny if this person were to suddenly appear. It would be quite funny. Okay, now, sorry. As you all know, everyone, this is going to be very unorganized because I'm hosting. Now,
it was last minute, too, so I can't blame you.
Yes, onto the news. So the first big bit of news, and I know we didn't end up with a Halo themed show, but there was fairly big Halo, I guess, updates, which is the co-op flighting.
Yeah, it's
Is that
both
right?
co-op and mission replay. Two very
Yes.
needed things.
Both went live. Now, I'm not in the insider program. I have not played it, but Jesse has. And as the host of our You Had Me at Hello podcast, I will let him talk about the co-op and how
we did
awesome I'm sure it is.
We did a couple hours last night over on our Twitch channel, the XboxEra, because some dipshit's got XboxEra and hasn't ever used it. We played for about 90 minutes or so. Myself, Dan, and Ursel from the channel, and Jesse Brother. We all played, and it was some of the most fun I've ever had in a Halo game. It is just so perfectly made for that. Both the open world stuff and the smaller work really well.
Hey,
there
Jesse,
is full
can
team
I stop
damage
you for
again.
a sec?
Nope. If we're going to 3, I gotta go. Boop. Oh wait, it broke.
Yeah. Can I stop you for a sec?
My wife left. Hold on. I think her we're off kilter now because my wife's computer turned off, and so I gotta go change that. Go ahead, talk.
Yeah. Okay. Someone might be jumping in anyway. Where is he? Hold on. There's someone in. We've got a third. There's 3 of us. Look who's here. Look who's here, everyone. There he is. Now remember, Colt, how are you, mate?
Good. You got to fix your
I can't even see what's happening. So remember, everyone. Remember how I said John has no power. So I was frantically sending messages to like everyone. I'm like, guys, please, can someone jump on? John's got no power, and I need a co-host. And I was just sending messages to everyone. And Colt just replied to me just now saying, yep, he's happy to jump on. How you been, man?
Good. Is it this arm?
I can't see what you're seeing. I need to jump on the podcast.
It's only half the screen, but that's the best part of me is one arm. Yeah. Now, how you been, Nick?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How are you?
Good. What are you guys talking about as I jump in? Like, where are we at? As
about the Halo co-op flighting thing, but before, like Jesse's been playing it, so Jesse's going to come back in a sec, hopefully. What I want to talk to you about, because I noticed
can rearrange this real quick. Hold on.
Okay. I noticed that on your show you had Hypercharge Joe like we did. How good was he?
Oh yeah.
He was great.
I actually brought. I was planning on bringing him for quite a while, and I thought he needed more time. Yeah. I didn't think they were ready to start talking, and then I said, "Well, how about in a week or so when I can get you early because I didn't want to bring him on at 1 a.m. his time." So I said, if I wait till next week, I can do the show. I can announce the show a couple hours earlier. And then Dealer had him on the next day at 1 a.m. And I was like, no.
He did a whole host of shows. He did a ton of shows because I'd been talking to him for like a year. And I got him in the Discord, and I'm like, I want to get you on, dude. I said to him, I tried to get him to announce the Xbox release date on our show. That's what I was trying to organize with him from like a year ago. He's like, yeah, we'll try to tee it up. We did not get the date, but that's okay. Yeah. He was good. He was very fun. He was really nice.
Yeah, yeah. It's been really cool.
You can be seen now.
Okay, there we go. Yeah. Hey, and I'm wearing your shirt. Ant-Man.
Hey, Ant-Man, whatever. Get stuff.
Oh yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah.
This can be my shirt.
Yeah, have you loaded up Hypercharge on Switch or on PC yet?
Not as yet.
Okay. Yeah, I played it a lot last week. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Very limited on the demo. And I would buy the game for $20. So I'm like, I want to wait to get it on Xbox. But yeah, it has a really good feel to it. So it's just pretty cool that the media is blown up over their game. Is my AC okay?
Yeah,
the noise.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I was like dying during Gaz's show without it on, but
I'm so jealous of all of you in summer.
Well, I put a window
here.
thing in because we have AC in the house, but my game room is in the garage. It's like fully furnished in here, and it just kind of heats up in summer. So this is like I've got both going on. But anyway, very cool their game to Xbox's. Like he probably told you that Chris Charla reached out to him, which is a big deal. So they're on their way. Very cool game.
We're happy to have him on. He was good, and I watched your show too with him on. It was good. Now, back to
he said,
Halo
"Quit stealing my guess." Yes. Let's talk Halo co-op.
Have you played it, Colt?
I have not because a couple of my friends were like, "Oh, I want to wait till the progress carries over," but we've all pretty much 100%ed the campaign.
So have I.
I've also been playing something else, but tell me, how does it feel? Well, treat me like the audience for a moment here.
Jesse's been playing it. Jesse's been playing co-op.
Tell us, Jesse, how does it feel? Was it worth the wait?
Yes. So the way it doesn't feel complicated while you're playing it, but if you look at everything they had to deal with the way progression works and mission completion, your Spartan cores, the way everything has to blend together, they nailed it. And everything was also on a dedicated server. There was me in Florida, my brother in Massachusetts, and then Dan from the site in Kentucky, and Ursel from the site in Canada, right near Detroit. No one had a ping higher than 35. It felt perfect. It was only a couple bugs, which it was like the Pelican dropship stayed in atmosphere and in the way after dropping off a vehicle, which is just funny. But it worked really well. We streamed it for like 90 minutes last night, and it was some of the most fun I've ever had in co-op in Halo.
So I heard that they buff the bosses as well, so you can't just melt them in a moment.
So on Heroic, Heroic feels like solo legendary, but obviously there was 4 of us, so we still pulled through it pretty quickly. You put it on normal or something, you'll just go through having fun and kill everything. Like if you put it on easy for Nick, it's going to be like a bunch of every enemy's a baby. So at least go to normal.
Yeah.
That's
what I'll be playing on.
They get more health, they do more damage depending on how many people are in. And it's not drop in, drop out, because the entire world state is built for however many people join at the beginning. So if you lose someone, you'll want to pop back out, pop back in. Thankfully, everything loads real quick.
I guess it would. Yeah, that's kind of a bummer when you can't drop in, drop out, but it's not always that simple.
It's super. As long as no one's on an original Xbox One, it's very fast. It's like 10, 20 seconds out.
So I gotta ask Nick, because I made a fuss about this on Twitter. I don't know if anybody watched, but why in the heck aren't we using our custom Spartan when we're being hosted?
That's what I just said. That's what I just
before I get on here.
They have explained it in the sense that this is Chief's story, so it's about him. And it wouldn't make sense for him to be with other people. There's leaked things where your multiplayer Spartan is sort of gearing up and building up to go to Zeta Halo. And the thought is that the expansions are going to be twofold. There's going to be big Chief-focused expansions, and there's going to be smaller multiplayer Spartan-focused expansions where you're like actually a part of the story now. So they didn't want to just throw you in there at first. They sort of want to build into it story-wise.
But isn't it still weird to have 4 chiefs, though?
I know they talk about the lore, but you got 4 identical chiefs running around.
It's because they all disappear in cutscenes, I guess.
I thought the way Halo 3 did it, was the best. I think.
It was weird.
The way Halo 3 did it was really
elite
good.
56.
Where someone was chief, someone was arbiter, I want to say.
You were the chief, arbiter, and 2 random elites.
Yeah, I like that. I thought Halo 3 handled it really, really well. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, and the nice thing is they do the way the mission works for progression is it's called No Spartan Left Behind. So the person who's got the least progress, that's what's unlocked up to in the map. So you can take in your full save, go play with, like, I'm going to play with my wife for the first time when this hits. And we'll just start from the beginning. I'll have my fully upgraded Spartan to mess around with if I want, or I can just do a new save file. Everyone always gets credit for everything. There is full team damage, as I just killed Ursel there on the stream. But there's no real penalty for dying as far as you don't lose your weapons. You just come back with the weapons you had when you died. So because the game is so different in how you can sort of call in weapons and all that stuff anyways.
So you may have already answered this, and I wasn't concentrating properly. But in Gears of War, if you're playing co-op, if someone's on easy and someone's on hard, well, you can have those individual.
You can have that. You can't in
Gears.
this one because of the way the game, the way they sort of make everything, the amount of enemies in an encounter.
Yeah, that's true.
What's available? Like they do more tuning for that instead of just how much damage you do and how much damage you take.
Yeah,
it's strange because of the new Borderlands games, like Borderlands 3 and Tiny Tina's has a, I can't remember what it's called. They have a normal and like a extreme mode or something. Can't remember what it's called, but you can change the difficulty. And then of course everything's all fluid. You could be at any level in the world and the loot. There's a lot of mechanics to take care of, but all that matters is this co-op is super fun. Feels good with friends.
The tether is huge. The tether is enormous.
It's not a problem.
No, it's freaking huge. It's what they showed in that picture. What I think conservative, because we had to go like an extra 100 meters outside of that before we got the warning about getting closer to your team, and then it shows you exactly where your team is, so you can start heading
but
there.
The tether never bothered me. Like whenever I've played co-op games, I don't leave my teammates to go miles off in another direction anyway. So the tether thing never bothered me.
This is an open world game that's smaller. Like it's not a big ass MMO. I don't see much reason to want. It's not Ghost Recon Wildlands. I don't want to go to a different part of the map to do base number 36. They're all cookie cutter. It's you want to be together in this. Can
you revive your teammate if your teammate is down, or do they just die?
No, insta die and very quick respawns if you're not in combat, like 2-3 seconds.
So if you die, your character flops to the ground and respawns in the general area.
Your character will flop to the ground. You'll then go into the multiplayer style, watch your teammates third person camera from like behind a teammate, and then the moment you respawn right behind that teammate.
Yeah, it's just like the old Halos. That sounds like just like the old Halos were.
It's very generous.
I mean, Halo 5, you went to a knee and your armor locked, and you had to wait to be revived by AI or by your co-op partner.
Yeah,
did you?
And they have that in one of the multiplayer modes. I forget which one that was called. The one with the ring that
actually in Halo 5, it was pretty annoying because
it was
the AI had to know to come get you. Gears 5 does the same thing, or the Gears games did the same thing. The AI would like run over to you and like they wouldn't die, but they'd come get you. And it's sort of the cost of dying wasn't as severe. So it's sort of ruined it. Like in Gears 3, you could die and you'd be fine because you knew they'd come pick you right up. So it's like you wouldn't worry about staying behind cover. The price of death wasn't too severe. That kind of works both ways, but
the only real difference in Gears was if you did fully die, then you go back to a checkpoint.
If you like get ripped apart.
If you get jibbed. The most fun thing in the history of any video game is grapple shotting off of a teammate if they're in the middle of a grapple shot, because you will go like 7 times further than normal, and it feels incredible because you've got their momentum of them pulling themselves forward, and if you were able to catch on to them, and like Ursel did it once, and he just took off and ended up like 3 times further away than I did.
This area right here that you're walking up to, this like landing pad where the ship's coming in, this is one of the spots that really won me over for this game when you come in and attack all these enemies. And I felt like John Wick, like it was like right out of a perfect action segment. And I think I shared that. I don't know, just this gosh dang, this kind of gets me excited again. Why wouldn't they wait for this? Why do they have this at launch? Dang it.
Because from what I can tell, this was a ton of work to actually make work.
Yeah.
Also, no desync, no issues with that. Like everything felt 1-to-1 when I'm playing with them, which I hope transfers over to multiplayer because it seems way better sync than the multiplayer has lately. But it was the way they're doing progression is so much better than something like Far Cry does it, where it's just host only, or even Redfall coming up, which is host only. I'm really hoping Redfall takes some pointers from them on this, because this system of progression for everyone, taking everything into account, it felt absolutely perfect. I had zero complaints about the way they've implemented co-op.
I'm looking forward to it. My 6-year-old, like loves Halo Infinite, so I'd love to be able to play through co-op with him. I reckon he'd have a hell of a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually watching it. I've got my phone up in front of me so I can watch, because I never watch the show while we're doing the show. So a lot of the time,
that's why I've got the 3 monitors here.
So yeah, I'm watching on my phone. I reckon it'll be fun. When are they expecting it? Is it like August or September?
It's August. This runs till August 1st, so I'd expect it like mid-August at the earliest, probably later, so that they can actually work on all the bugs that are being reported on.
Yeah,
because that's actually the point of this, is to try and make it as good as possible at launch. So, and anyone can get into this. You just open the Insider app on a Xbox console, and you can
the same way you did for the multiplayer beta back in the day.
Yeah, the only difference is if you didn't sign up for Steam right at the beginning, then it's too late to get a Steam code.
Yeah.
And
it took them a little while to get this. They wanted to get it a few days earlier, and it took a little while to get this unrolled for everybody. So, it has a lot of work.
Would you be downloading a separate build of the game?
Yes, it's the full game too. Okay. It's 52 gigs on Series X. It's the entire thing.
No achievements in this build, but I guess there are achievements in. Are there?
There's going to be 14 new ones in. I'm just saying it's like the review copy we had, Colt, where it's its own thing, and the moment it's done, it disappears forever.
Right, and so there's no achievements in this build. You'll have to do it again if you want to get the achievements and your progression. But like I've found every armor piece. I've cleared every area. I just haven't found all the skulls. I kind of did it twice. Like in the review build, I did everything on the map. And redid it all again at launch so I could get the achievements and have that. On my game forever.
99% on that review build, and then it disappeared, and it felt so bad.
Yeah.
That's annoying. That's cool.
People dog this game, and we've all dogged this game in different ways. But watching the combat, it's like, oh man, it's so good.
It plays so well.
I shoot these two guys like 20 friggin' times, and they just don't die because.
They're tough. So those are tough brutes.
Yeah, and they have a lot more health.
Okay, here's your death. You're respawning.
Yeah. So I just respawn.
You're host. Are you the host?
I am.
So you don't see the third person camera unless you're being hosted?
I do.
Oh, okay.
It was that fast because of the person who I spawned on. Yeah, the person who I spawned on was out of combat, so it was instant. Like the moment my timer went up, it just put me there again.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
That's fine.
So, if they're stuck in combat, you'll go in that third person like it's a multiplayer match. It's very well done. Anyone picks up an audio log, anyone picks up a skull, anyone picks up a Spartan point, everyone gets it.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Very good. Cool. Well, now, Jesse, I assume you have experience being on camera and also producing, but I'm going to do my best to ease you in rather than just dump stuff on you out of nowhere. So we've got
everything open in our talking points.
Okay, so we've got another super chat. Creaky Legs, MoistBiomes. That's like grossness on top of grossness.
That's from Forza Horizon 5. It's got one. I called them. It's got 4 biomes. It's got 4 distinct areas. In the case of biomes, because of Returnal.
I hate that word biomes, and
one of them is wet.
Moist.
Call it a moist biome.
They're just gross. They sound gross. Like, oh, it's so moist. It's just like, that's
what about
so
BioDome?
Yuck. It's gross.
Are you a big Pauly Shore fan?
You should start a band called MoistBiomes.
It's gross. I'm gonna get a T-shirt. That says MoistBiomes and a picture of Returnal on it. Now, we've also got a community question, which kind of relates to the start of the show and talking about Halo, and it's from BRiT. So BRiT asks, and we kind of spoke about it too. BRiT asks, hello everyone. Why no Master Chief 117 references in this podcast title? Well, BRiT, as I said earlier, because we couldn't get someone from 343 on, I wanted to get someone from 343 on, or Steve Downs. But because I couldn't get anyone on, that's why we didn't have a Halo theme to the show. And because there was like Jack All News, that's why you see the Skyrim skeleton just sitting there dying in that dungeon or whatever he's in, because there's just like nothing happening. But then the Halo stuff came up kind of last minute. So there was sort of news. But that's why no 117 title or anything like that. What are you going to do? Okay. Next bit of news. Now, I saw a lot of people respond quite badly to this, and I'm assuming Colt is aware. So Skate 4, which is not called Skate 4, it's just called Skate.
Why didn't they put the 4 where the A is?
Well,
Sorry, go ahead.
is a missed opportunity. Now, Skate will be a free-to-play, cross-play, cross-progression platform. And I saw a lot of people on Twitter not happy with this. And I'm kind of surprised that we're still in that space where as soon as people hear, well, it's a games as a service game, they instantly write it off. I'm kind of surprised we're still doing that. And don't get me wrong, I'm not suggesting everyone should be super pumped for it, or I just feel like surely in this day and age where we have amazing games as a service games like Fortnite,
Fall
like
Guys,
Apex, like Rocket League, Fall Guys, Warzone,
Diablo Immortal.
Yeah, like we have some amazing games as a service games these days. Let's just give it a chance.
A lot of the amazing you're going on a really good direction here, but a lot of the amazing industry-changing popular free-to-play games are new IPs. And when you see a beloved game that, a trilogy turn into a free-to-play, of course, everyone's natural reaction is this is going to be a pared down, microtransaction laden, half attempt to bring us the game on the cheap, right? I can't fault us for thinking that, right, Jesse? Like, it's sort of a natural reaction when you played a full featured Skate 1, 2, and 3, and then the fourth one turns into a free-to-play mobile style. You kind of naturally go there. Like, are we wrong to think that?
Yeah, so it's tough because there have definitely been cash grabs that were free-to-play microtransaction heavy, where it's the mobile style that Diablo Immortal took of pay to skip versus just cosmetics. So it depends. If it's still a big game that gets tons of content added to it over time, instead of one that focuses on letting you skip things if you don't feel like doing them with money, and the cosmetics
as long as it plays well.
Yeah.
Like the key is it needs to feel good and play well, but full circle
and have enough content at the start.
Are Full Circle the developers? Is that who they are? They explained that with Skate there's going to be no pay to win microtransactions.
Okay.
No parts of the map locked behind a paywall. No loot boxes, no paid loot boxes, and no paid gameplay advantages. So it looks like they've taken a lot of. It looks like they've learned from a lot of EA's past mistakes with this sort of stuff. I don't know. I'm willing to give it a shot. I mean, it is free to play, and it could be.
It's funny because
a lot of fun.
EA doesn't do bad microtransactions in most of their games. They almost did in Battlefront 2, and people never forgave them, rightfully. But like EA's been fine. It's really Blizzard and Activision that have jumped, full feet into the mobile stuff with that. But EA normally their actual console games are pretty damn good about it. Like Apex had a slow start.
What if their research for Skate 4 takes them the direction that they don't think that the game would sell in the traditional market? So they went free to play because they're like, this might be, we really want to make the Skate game, but we don't think it'll sell enough to make up for it. So how about we push it out free to play and let a little bit of monetization on the back end make up for it?
Well, especially after you see what Fall Guys did. They're at 50 million people played now. I imagine they're probably making infinitely more money than they ever did before.
Right. So Jesse, would the monetization be in cosmetics and tricks?
Oh yeah, it would be. I don't think it would be anything gameplay related. I think it would be emotes. Your look. Yeah, it'd be like doing dumb shit. It's the Fortnite model works really well.
Yeah, it does.
You have your season passes, you have your tie-ins, you have your your crossovers from different IP. Get Tony Hawk skatewear in there,
And I was about to say, like, surely there'd be a massive opportunity for cross promotion with skate culture, clothing brands, and stuff.
With Billabong.
God, yeah, like I remember when I was a kid, skating was huge, and all the different brands that had a massive presence in skating. Like, surely there'd be an opportunity to buy. What the hell is that brand? Is it Volcom or whatever the hell they're called? There's all these different skate brands.
Maybe they can do a crossover with Tony Hawk's new NFTs.
Yeah, why not? But yeah, like maybe the microtransactions are in the brand of skateboard you buy or the t-shirt you buy. Maybe you buy some Vans or Converse shoes, or if it's in stuff like that, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, as long as it's only ever cosmetic and it's just stuff people want. If the base game has enough content and is really fun to play, then that's pretty much.
And
This
that's
is the
the
way
thing.
companies that don't have Game Pass end up having to do games, because if you don't think it's going to be a huge seller, you have to monetize it some other way. It's like, why is Sony moving to more games as a service and buying Bungie? It's because the moment, why is Horizon Forbidden West already just being packed into everything? It's because that game
They're
probably didn't
bundling
sell
the
that
hell
well.
out of that game.
Yeah, they've never given the sales numbers on it. Now they're bundling it a ton because it doesn't have a way to keep making money from the people that bought it. So,
because these games keep costing more and more to make. We keep saying it. The cost of development keeps going up. It's because we all, everyone keeps demanding the best of the best of the best. We want the games to be huge and last thousands of hours, and we want the games to be the best looking thing ever.
They want the facial capture. They want the characters to look lifelike. They want all of the
fuzz. We want the peach fuzz.
Yeah,
we want all these things. And it's like, well, mate, that comes at a cost. Like, mate, it's all about this.
Mm-hmm.
All about
and
this,
a cost
mate.
in time too, because of COVID. Like Hellblade's behind schedule because they wanted to do all that super motion capture stuff, and you couldn't have a bunch of people in the studio for a long time.
Jeez. Yeah, imagine if Ninja Theory was not. It wouldn't be the same game, Hellblade, if it didn't have that voice, that actress being captured in a lifelike way. But if Senua was generated by an animator and lip synced by animators in a system, we would already be playing the game. But
maybe
a big part of that game is their motion capture and their performance capture has been taking a lot of time. It took 2 years off during COVID.
And
it's
they also got knocked back big time by Unreal Engine 5 being delayed.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah, you're right, Nick. People want everything. They want it all. They want they want the biggest worlds, the most lifelike characters. We love that stuff.
Yep.
But
as you would know, Colt, our kids don't care.
They don't
care about that. They don't give a rat's
look at Dead by Daylight. Game's hideous.
It's only the 30 and 40 some year olds that like really care about Peach Fuzz and like completely perfectly lifelike eyes. And
you know what? My son's been playing Flat Stick, Human Fall Flat, because it's on Game Pass.
That game's so fun. My kid was playing Peppa Pig the other day. He can't wait for Slime Rancher 2.
Yeah, he played Peppa Pig as well, and I walked in and he was playing it, and it's like, man, if you've watched the Peppa Pig cartoon, and I'm aware of how Peppa Pig looks.
Yeah.
But if you're a fan of the Peppa Pig cartoon, that game, it's just like you're controlling the cartoon. It's just like you're fully in control of the cartoon.
Yeah, it looks just like
just playing it. Yep. And this is the thing. Like, I actually quite love the fact that kids don't care about how games look. I mean, Jesus, they don't even care about how games play. They play all the jankiest games going around. Goat Simulator, Human Fall Flat, Roblox. They just play the jankiest games, and they don't care at all. They just don't care.
They're just too busy perfecting their spinning around and building a hotel in Fortnite.
Man, it makes me laugh so much.
Well, maybe the younger generation will kind of get us into a middle ground where games don't take 6 years. That, because how amazing is the Mass Effect trilogy and the old Gears games and the old BioShock games where they basically made those games in 2 or 3 years. They're amazing and they still hold up. And they don't have all of those things that take. I think the performance and motion capture probably adds a good 2 years to development of your run-of-the-mill AAA game. I should look that up because I think that's probably about where we're at.
That happened a lot with Halo Infinite because they had a lot of the main actors working together for quite a while during that one.
During a year or so when they couldn't be together, when they shouldn't be in studio, weren't allowed to. I don't know.
The point of this tangent was...
where were we? Skate?
that the important thing about Skate is that it plays well. I don't care if it's not the best looking thing ever, as long as it... Like, I miss the old Tony Hawk games. They felt amazing. And Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 HD, the recent remake or whatever, remaster, felt
the last thing Vicarious Visions ever got to do.
I hope Phil just, like, Says,
He brought up all the old
start
IP.
your studio again. Start your studio again. We'll let you do Tony Hawk. Don't stress. We own Tony Hawk now. We own it.
Yeah.
You guys can do whatever you want. You can make Tony Hawk. That's fine. I don't know.
He kept mentioning all.
What do you reckon,
the
Colt?
old
Should we
IP
push
they
Phil?
have.
We'll push Phil to bring
Yes.
Vicarious back. We'll push him.
I mean, it seems like everybody else wants that.
Yeah,
they really do.
They were a good studio.
There's a lot of studios. Sadly, there's a lot of amazing studios at Activision that have been relegated to do Call of Duty, like High Moon Studios.
Raven.
Tell me you both have played the Cybertron Transformers. Oh my gosh. How good are those games? Or is it
What
just
about
me?
Deadpool? Even Deadpool was great.
No, I never did play Deadpool. Was Deadpool good?
Deadpool that was by High Moon as well. That was a good game. And
It got kind of
Raven
dicey reviews back in the day, as I remember.
No,
I
it was
ended up
fun.
skipping
It was a fun game. And
did it get like 7s or
Raven-
8s or something? And I think I skipped it
Yeah.
because, but the
Raven
Transformers
made-
games are amazing.
Yes,
Raven's going
and
to be stuck
Raven
on Call of
Software.
Duty forever. They're the one that's going to be
Nah.
stuck. They're doing
You
Warzone
reckon?
too. Yeah, they are doing it. It's their thing, and it makes all the money. It's the
But
big COD
Raven
thing.
made the greatest God of War clone ever in X-Men Origins Wolverine. It was just the
that game was so
best.
dumb. I loved it.
Oh, it was so good. And like as you got attacked, your body reflected the damage. Like your t-shirt started ripping off more, and there was more cuts on you. But then because you're Wolverine, it starts to heal more over.
Even your shirt heals.
Who made that
my
one?
God.
Raven?
Raven Software. I've got it.
I think I looked that up because that's
the
another
best game
one I
ever
missed.
for a movie, and the movie's terrible. It's a garbage movie.
Oh yeah, the
It does
movie
the other way
Game's
around.
great. Yeah,
The movie is disgusting, but like, where's Raven's logo?
it's
Raven's
super
logo
arcadey,
is
and you can even dress like the
there.
original Wolverine. It's
It was like, and I'm talking OG God of War, not third person over the shoulder. Back the hack and slash God of Wars. So there was Dante's Inferno, which was
That's
also
a
a
great,
very good,
excellent game.
very good God of War clone.
on
And
Game
this
Pass.
is my favorite
Yes.
God of War clone. X-Men Origins Wolverine is my favorite God of War clone. It was such an amazing game. Absolutely loved it.
It totally has that 360 PS3 era look to it.
Oh,
Very like
Unreal
muddy
Engine.
and
I think
chunky,
it
but
was Unreal
Mhm.
Engine. Yeah, it's
Yeah, it
Unreal
also-
Engine 3. So
it looks like Prototype. And does it play kind of like Prototype, or does it play more like the old God of War?
It is God of War. It
Mhm.
is God of War reskinned as a Wolverine game. It was
it's
now it feels like
way better than
John's
it has any
on
right
the
to be.
show, because look at the friggin' tangents we keep going on. Now it feels definitely like John's on the show. But yes, if you still have a 360 hooked up, get a copy of X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Just makes me
It
mad. A
was-
lot of those games never got approved through
Backwards
back and
compatible.
because of licensing.
Yeah.
You have the disc there? That's amazing.
Yeah, because it's not
Bro.
backwards compatible, so I have to have it
Yeah.
on disc. Hey,
Oh man,
I've still got a 360 set up, so that's
I do
old
too.
Marvel
I do too.
licensing
I
is
should pick
such
it up.
the old Marvel licensing is just a mess because like
Yeah,
the,
I'm sure.
It's
all
such a
those
shame.
Capcom collections keep coming out, and they never have any of the Marvel stuff, which would make them
Yeah,
just
I know.
infinitely better.
It's such a shame. Creaky Legs with another super chat. I wouldn't mind if games still look like 360 games, just in 4K 60, if it meant I got sequels faster. We could have been on Mass Effect 7 already. I say that at the start of every generation. I say exactly that. I am
Yeah.
happy with last gen's graphics, but give it to me at 1080 60 or 4K
Can
60.
I ask you
Get
guys a
into
question?
lighting
AA
and-
games.
What do you do
Ah.
when a game gets shown off and then people in the comments say looks like a last gen game or looks like a 360 game? Do you
I think they're
react to
idiots.
that, or you say anything?
Yeah, I
or
think they're idiots. Like I
If
don't
it's on our channel, I'd like to just block them, but I don't.
like. It's just I don't
like
know.
when there's like when they see Starfield, they're like, looks like a last gen game, looks like a 360 game. I'm like when
Don't
you
look
said,
at the
Nick,
360
if games looked more like the 360 generation, we get more of them. Like they automatically would look better just because
Yeah, but, like,
technology
think
is already
about-
advanced. Like
That's
they
right.
can
Like,
have more
think about Gears
polygons
3.
on. Yeah,
Think about Gears 3 on backwards compatibility, how it got
it looks
X enhanced,
incredible.
and how amazing that looks. And that is a 3. Now, imagine
Or even the
if you
Mass Effect
took that-
Legendary Edition.
It's
Yes.
Gears 3 has in-engine cutscenes, and I've taken screenshots and shared them on Twitter that looks like a modern Gears game. The
Yeah.
visuals hold up. because
That's what I'm saying.
it's because the team took the time to make the characters look a certain way. It has nothing to do with hardware, has nothing to do with what gen, because I've seen PS3 games that look better than some current gen games because those developers took the time and attention to detail to make them look really great. And even the Starfield NPCs, almost all of them, some look a little weird, but almost all of them look 5 times better than Fallout 4. Like, people just don't get it. It's all about taking the time to add more detail.
Well,
and
most of the time, they take cutscene graphics and think that that's what games look like. Like Nick can say with The Last of Us 2. The Last of Us 2 has some of the best graphics ever in cutscenes, and then kind of looks nice with great animations.
Oh,
gameplay.
yeah. When you see people sharing screenshots of Last of Us 2, don't believe what you see.
Some of them are like the menu models and stuff.
Yeah, I took in-game screenshots, and it does not look like what people claim it does. But anyway, that's
or half the time people take a screenshot, then zoom in on one little corner and pretend that's the actual shot they took.
But like Gears 3, if you were to make that 60, and if you were to add ray trace lighting to it, because obviously being if 4A
it had a PC version and people could do it.
Yeah, if 4A could add ray trace lighting to Metro, which was a Gen 8 game, you could easily add ray trace lighting to the X-enhanced Gears 3, and it would look incredible just with the addition of ray trace lighting. And that's why I'd be more than happy with last gen graphics if it was full anti-aliasing, 4K 60, great lighting, great reflections, great. And it would still look incredible and more than good enough for everyone to enjoy.
You say that, but I've got a really good PC, and if I turn ray tracing on in Minecraft, even at 1080p, I get like 20 frames per second with full path ray tracing. Ooh, you do DLSS and all that stuff, and it's good. If they can get the AMD, the FSR, they get that stuff going, then I bet you could see a lot more ray tracing stuff on these consoles. Because right now, it's very expensive.
How did 4A do it with Metro?
Because it's just the global. It's not like reflections. It's the global illumination, right?
Yeah.
So there's different types. So if it's everything, it's going to be tough. But like with Gears 5, they actually gave that game a whole new lighting system for the Series X and stuff. So there are different ways. Ray tracing is just like one tool. I do agree. I think especially as Unreal Engine 5 starts to mature, that is going to be a big thing for companies not having to spend so much time. You get all the Quixel Mega Scans. You've got your engine in place. You're tweaking it, especially if you're in Xbox Studio and you can just talk to the coalition and they're freaking wizards about it. Like I think we will see things more quickly as the tools emerge, which is still a work in progress.
Now, to get this train back on track, because I have no idea how the hell we got here from Skate.
It's my fault.
No, it's on Nick. He does it with anyone.
I have no idea how we got here from Skate. So there's a few more smaller tidbits before we get to one last bigger story before we move on to the community questions. We had, what did we have? Something we forgot to mention last week because we had Joe on. Psychonauts 2 Motherlobe Edition, which is the physical copy of the game, was announced.
Yeah, it's got some extra stuff in it, so it's it's 70 instead of 60.
Yep. So
$70 Xbox games.
Yeah. Oh my God, their first party is now officially $70. Oh no, it's like the worst thing ever. Why is it $70?
It has some physical pack-ins, I believe. Let me double check.
Okay.
But like it has actual items in.
Is there more gameplay stuff? Because I've done almost everything in Psychonauts.
I think it's just about what comes in this physical copy for people that wanted it.
Okay.
What a great game. I still need to beat it.
Yeah, it's got a reversible cover sheet, an outer sleeve, a set of six two-sided art cards with final art and concept art.
Oh, well, okay, so that makes more sense stickers, as to why it's 70. That makes a bit more sense.
It has actual
like stock game. Yeah, it's not just a stock game on its own. That's fine. For those of you that hate the environment and want to buy physical, that's fine. The physical edition.
Oh my gosh.
For all you Joe Mansions out there.
Colt, come on. Why do you hate the environment, Colt?
I never buy
Why?
physical. I never buy
Neither
physical
do I.
games.
I've been digital for
I don't
years.
I don't do it because of the environment. I do it for total convenience. But
Of course.
yeah, what a neat
It's just
game
fun
this
to make
is.
fun of people for
I love
hating
it.
the environment.
It's so good.
Yeah,
All.
it's a great game. Oh gosh,
Yeah, it is. It's good. It's good. I really like it. Now, in news that's a little more, it's a little closer to my heart. TMNT Shredder's Revenge hit 1 million copies sold over the last week, which is great for them. .emu if you're Australian, I guess. They're an incredible publisher, man. Like they know they've got that. I guess alongside Night Dive, .mu has that nostalgia market locked down. Like they know how to pick those projects. You know, Wonder Boy Dragon's Trap, Streets of Rage 4, TMNT Shredder's Revenge. Like they know what they're doing. For those of you that have not played TMNT Shredder's Revenge, please do so. It's still on Game Pass. Our review, which was done surprisingly by me, I gave it a 9 out of 10, I want to say.
Yeah, you gave it a 9.
Have you played it, Colt? You've played it?
Yeah, it's great. Yeah. Played half of it with some friends and then Randall Thor and I ran through the whole thing in 2 sessions. It's really, really great.
It is so good.
Like we did Streets of Rage last year, I think, or the year before.
Yes.
And it's kind of hard to pick which one's better because they're kind of similar in a lot of ways.
I give Streets of Rage the nod. I
kind of do too, but Streets of Rage also was like really difficult in some spots.
Ooh, yeah.
And so I wasn't happy about the pixel art look of TMNT, but
really?
Yeah, I wanted them to use the smoother edges like Streets of Rage 4 did, because I kind of get tired of all these games that use an 8-bit or a 16-bit look.
I didn't mind it.
It just nailed me back to 1990. I know.
So I felt like
the game looks amazing. I totally forgave it and loved it. As is. What's that?
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Did you, in any of the levels, because you know how each level in TMNT has challenges within it?
Yes.
Did you manage in any of the levels that had it to get the challenge where you make it through without getting hit?
I don't think so. Like,
neither do I. I can't do it. I keep trying on the first level and I can't do it. Some asshole Foot Clan soldier keeps getting a fist in by accident. Man, I just realized how bad that sounded.
Across the screen and bump you.
As soon as I said it, I just realized how bad that sounded.
He's getting a fist into your asshole. We got it. Go ahead.
I just realized as soon as I said it, I was like, oh no, that sounds so bad. But they always just get a cheap shot in. Like I'm trying to go for that perfect run. And it's just
no, I would try and get the 200 hit counter and only got up to 100 something. And I would make some mistake or there'd be a space where enemies don't show up.
Haven't you done
the achievement? Was it 200 or 250?
250. Haven't you done it?
Yeah. I never got it.
I did it straight away. There's a trick. Do you want another trick?
Sure. Yeah. Tell me.
Because you can juggle them, right? You can juggle them forever. So what you do at the very, very start of the game when Shredder shows up, and what you do is take care of the guys there. But the guys that come from the left, just keep hitting them against that wall. They bounce off, back off a little bit, and keep hitting them and just keep them in the air. And if you've got 2 of them, they just go back and forth, and you'll get the 250. God. It was like the second achievement I got in the game.
I was trying to do it. I was trying to do it the proper way, but
if you do want to cheese the no-hit one,
cheesing.
If you want to cheese the no-hit one, Nick, you get someone to the very end of a level and you join them in co-op, hit the boss, kill them, and you'll get the you were never hit in this level.
Really?
BRiT said it in chat, yeah.
Okay. There was a couple glitches too where a co-op partner, it happened to me once, where your character just stays still. You can't see anybody on screen. A couple bugs, but it was a good game.
I loved it. Absolutely loved it to death. Okay, now, speaking of news that's near and dear to my heart, another thing we missed out because it was announced, I think, just before the episode that we skipped, and then we had Joe on, so we haven't been able to mention it. The Sega Mega Drive 2 Mini got announced and revealed. So many of you may have bought or for the Americans, the Genesis. But the Sega Mega Drive 2 Mini was announced, where it's got the newer look. Both those consoles are stunning, though. Everyone now gets the proper 6-button D-pad, where the PALs and the Euros, we got like rolled, and we got the crappy old 3-button D-pad. Now everyone gets the 6-button. Unfortunately, this has not been announced for Europe yet, but there's no reason why it wouldn't, because Europe is where Sega was probably its most successful anyway. But they've revealed a bunch of the games that are coming to this thing. There's like 50 games or something. It's a pretty decent collection depending on the region. But I'm sure all the hackers are going to go and just unlock it and just get every single game on there. Because I'm sure everyone will be keen to see what the guts are like. Although I'm sure the inside will probably be like the Mega Drive 1. And this is all just about the outside. Japan seems to have the better list of games.
Yeah, so far.
Bonanza
Brothers, Fantasy Zone, Shining Force, Sylphid.
How does this thing work? Is it built into the system?
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
And then it has the cartridge opening just for fun?
Yeah. It's just
can it take cartridges?
Look, it's just like a little.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
There was one that did. There was this company that managed to get the license to make these mini consoles years ago, and Sega cut their relationship with them because they made really bad products. But they used to make the Mega Drive Mini, and it would have games built in, but you could also stick your carts into it. But apparently the emulation was horrible. The sound quality was really very bad. And they really, Sega's reputation on that product took a bit of a hit, so they cut their relationship with that company. And now they're just doing it themselves, which is probably the best way to do it.
They're finally putting in some Sega CD versions of stuff, too.
Yes, they're putting Sega CD games in this one. Super Street Fighter 2, New Challenges, Fatal Fury 2, Alien Soldier, Final Fight CD, which was the best home port out of all of them that no one bought because no one had a Mega CD.
I did.
Outrun, Afterburner 2, Splatterhouse 2. Japan really does get a damn good list.
Well, I don't think they've done the full list for the West yet.
No, not yet.
Makes it over.
Not yet. But I will be buying one. I got the NES Mini, SNES Mini, Mega Drive Mini, PlayStation 1 Mini. I will get this one.
Dang.
I just need to get the Game Gear. But I've got a real Game Gear. You can see it back there.
Yeah, you got
and I've got my original one. The Game Gear. Game Gear was amazing. Did you have a Game Gear, Colt?
I've only played on one, and I think I played Final Fantasy and Streets of Rage on it. Yeah, it was really. I played it in I don't know when that thing came out, but I played one in 96 or 97. I was like, what?
Yeah.
This is what handheld, this is really, really nice. Yeah, that was really cool.
I
think it took 4 batteries or something.
6, and it ate them in an hour or less.
6?
They did sell rechargeables, but they were hard to find.
Oh, man, that was full on. I also had
a TV tuner. Yeah, you had that.
I have the TV tuner. I could probably find it. But the
you
problem
mean you
is,
could plug it into a TV?
No, could plug it in the cartridge slot.
Antenna. You plugged an antenna into the cartridge slot and watch TV.
Oh, you watch TV on it? Oh my gosh!
You watch.
I don't think it would work anymore in the US because we're all digital now.
Well, yes, we're all digital, so you can't use it.
You can't get a broadcast from an antenna. Yeah,
it's just literally a collector's item to say you have one, which I do.
Yeah, the old analog ones don't work. I wonder if you could get a digital antenna soldered.
Yeah, get those converters plugged into it.
I wonder if there's a way to open it up and hack it and put a digital tuner in there.
Sega CD 32X. Sega
Is there on TV anymore? On regular TV?
Could you imagine if you actually could hack it? And if anyone is watching that is clever with that sort of stuff or knows someone that does that sort of stuff, that needs to be a project. Someone needs to build a digital TV tuner for a Sega Game Gear. That would be unbelievable. I would buy 17 of them for $11 billion.
Let's have MVG do that. Modern Vintage Gamer could work on that.
Yeah, I was thinking MVG as well, but I don't know if he does the hardware side of things. He's a software developer. I don't know if he mucks around with the hardware.
I'm sure he knows someone. He knows someone who has the right gear.
Yeah, that's it. That's the TV tuner. Mine's not boxed. Mine's not boxed, but that's what it looks like. So if you could crack that open and get a digital TV tuner in there, and you'd have to replace the dial with buttons because it's a little dial, like a slider dial thing.
Mm-hmm. I bet you someone could figure that out. Just that connector and the way it works, and figuring out a way to get that to go to a digital version. I bet you, if someone really smart with way too much time, they could probably figure it
out. I still have my original Game Gear, the one I got when I was 12 years old. I still have it, like that I got for my birthday, for my 12th birthday. Still have that same Game Gear, boxed and everything. It was amazing. Man, Sega was the best. So sad Sega's gone.
We had the entire thing. I had the original Genesis, the original Mega Drive, the original Sega CD, and the 32X on top of it. I had the whole thing. I had
a Sega CD too. So good. What about you, Colt? Weren't you into Sega growing up?
I wasn't into Sega. I had a NES and a Super NES, and then took a break for a couple gens. Yeah. I had a neighbor who had one, and I'm like, oh, this has different games. Like I wasn't even involved in the console war in the 90s. Didn't really care.
I was.
My friend had the Genesis, and I was like, oh, you have I can't remember what the game was. Altered Beast.
Yes,
and some other stuff, and I'm like, there's no Nintendo games on this, because back then there weren't multi-platform games. I don't think.
Not often.
I don't think Sega and Nintendo shared any games at all.
Nintendo was very
Nintendo were assholes, and they held all the developers to ransom. So Sega had to port multi-plat games themselves. So it would be like Microsoft. So it would be like now, the modern day equivalent would be Sony made Street Fighter V exclusive. So Microsoft had to pay one of their first party studios or a third party studio to port Street Fighter V over to Xbox for them. Capcom couldn't make it. Microsoft would have to port it themselves and give it another name.
Did a ton of those, right?
There was Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, I guess, later on.
Western stuff, but not the Eastern. As the Eastern, it was the Sony lockdown version of console fighting.
But that Street Fighter port on Mega Drive was made by Sega. It wasn't made by Capcom. Sega made that port themselves. It was there was just bonkers stuff going on back then, because Nintendo were just, I don't know. I was knee deep in the console war, but back then it was different to how it is now. There was no social media.
We owned everything. It was really freaking expensive. I don't know how we did. But it was very much a Nintendo was the big dog, and they were super dickheads about everything. And then they really pissed off PlayStation, who were a much bigger company. And then they became the dickheads about everything.
And
Microsoft came in trying to be dickheads about everything and realized, oh shit, we can't. So
I'll never forget, as a kid, as an example of the console war when I was a kid. So one of my best mates at school was Nintendo, I was Sega, and we used to read a magazine called Hyper Magazine. And I remember Street Fighter coming out on Super Nintendo as an exclusive was a huge deal back then. As anyone can imagine, Street Fighter 2 was the biggest game in the world at the time. And Super Nintendo was the only console that was getting it. And I remember in Hyper Magazine, my mate was staying over. My Nintendo mate was sleeping over at my house. And we were going through Hyper Magazine, and there was a 2-page ad for Street Fighter on Super Nintendo. And it was just a dude's eyes. Like, it was just a picture of a dude's eyes looking straight into the camera. I think if Jesse may be able to find it with some Googling. And
Hyper Magazine, Street Fighter?
Just look up Street Fighter 2 SNES ad, magazine ad or something. And all it said was like, Street Fighter 2 on Super Nintendo. Sega fans, dream on. Or something like that. And that's all it said. And we were reading through this magazine, and my mate found the ad, and he goes, dream on. And he's like holding it in my face. It's like, dream on, dream on. Tell me you can find it, Jesse. I'm sure we've found it before. Street Fighter 2 SNES.
Street Fighter 2 SNES ad. I immediately got a Chun-Li in a bathing suit 3D model advertisement from Etsy.
Whoops.
Can't show that.
Oh, there it is. Hold on. No, that's Street Fighter 2. You've been asking for it. Where's the one that says Dream On? There's one that says Dream On, and it's just the guy's eyes. It was... there it is. Aha, I found it.
Street Fighter 2. Oh, I see it. Yeah, I just got it.
Sega owners, dream on. And so my mate just held that magazine ad in my... See, look at that. Look how good my memory can be when I want it to be.
Every once
in
a while,
guy's eyes just looking at the camera. Are you bringing it up? I want everyone to see
I'm getting
this
it
ad.
just by itself. There we go.
This was the console war. This was the console war in the 90s. This is the sort of stuff when Jesse brings it up. Look at that.
What's up? No.
Look at
Oh
that.
my gosh.
See? My memory's not that bad. I remember.
No, it's not. What?
God, they're douchebags.
Why didn't they use like a picture of Ryu's eyes or Ken or something?
They really didn't show the games much in old ads. You go and look at old ads
they didn't.
and rarely actually had anything from the game.
So my mate, we were going through the magazine. That ad was in the magazine, and he just turned the magazine around in my face and goes, "Dream on." And I was like,
"Console
wars." It was so funny. Oh my god, those were the days.
Those were certainly some days.
They were. I love it. It was just so in your like they didn't even care. It was just full blown console war straight in the ads. They didn't care.
You would talk about competition a lot more back then.
Oh, yeah. Sega does what Nintendo don't. Just all that sort of stuff.
That was a classic.
Those were the days. Now, last bit of news, and it's a pretty decent-sized bit of news. In the recent tradition of Sony basically copying everything Microsoft does, Sony announced PlayStation Stars, which is their equivalent of Microsoft Rewards, but it's obviously far more gaming only focused because it's PlayStation Stars, where Microsoft Rewards is all of Microsoft. And it looks pretty good. I actually quite like the logo too, strangely enough. Just very clean and nice. Sorry about that graphic design tangent, but I used to be a graphic designer, so I really take note of that.
For you, it's not much of a tangent because your tangents are like an hour.
Yeah.
It's not too bad,
So, we're looking at the blog post because I'm looking at the blog post too myself, so I can read to make sure I get it right. So, with the PlayStation Rewards, there'll be like check-in campaigns, which is similar to what Microsoft has. If you platinum a game, when you play a game, if you win a tournament, all that sort of stuff, you get little rewards, which could be, I think, PlayStation credit. You get points towards purchases. And I think they were very, very upfront to say that these weren't NFTs.
They are not fungible.
Yes, even though they sound a lot like NFTs. But they were talking about having digital collectibles, which I think could be cool. So yeah, it actually sounds like a legitimately cool program. If it comes to Australia, I'll sign up for it. But Sony doesn't bring much to Australia. We still don't have PS Now.
Jeez.
So, yeah, we still don't have it here, which is kind of annoying. But then again, we don't have Google Stadia here either. Like, it's the only one we have is xCloud. That's it.
Do you have GE Force Now?
Do we?
I was asking if you do.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But what do you reckon, Colt? Looks pretty good, this program.
Yeah, this is another competition drives the other competition.
That's right.
Microsoft Rewards gives you convertible money for getting achievements within Game Pass. They let you do these quizzes, and these other buying certain highlighted games will earn you a few bucks that you could turn into Microsoft money in your account. So this is good. PlayStation has had a reward system for several years that was not used by their fan base. So they had.
I don't even remember. What was it?
Nobody really used it, so it wasn't really a viable program. But you could earn points and you could cash in, but no one was using it. It wasn't up front. It wasn't being utilized. It wasn't part of their ecosystem properly. Okay. So it existed, but it wasn't doing anybody any good, I guess, or no one was utilizing it. So now they were PlayStation is really pushing these games as a service, microtransactions, online releases. PC releases. They're pushing this, what do you call it? The service-based games where you subscribe and you get more for your subscription.
Sounds like another company we all know and love.
It sounds like something that PlayStation fans told us was counter to what they all wanted. And now it is a major, in fact, it is probably PlayStation's biggest push right now. Games as a service, subscription-based consumption. It is a big deal for them. And it's because that's where the industry's going.
I am all for it. Like the more Sony PlayStation becomes like Xbox, I'm there.
Getting on PC is great.
Yep.
I've got a good PC. I'd like to play their. I mean, they're a little overpriced at times, but I'd like to play their stuff on PC when they're on sale. So it's
and
nice.
as soon as day one, as soon as their games come day one to PlayStation Plus, mate, they'll be getting my money every single month, which they're not getting right now, but they'll be getting it every month forever if they do it. Jimbo, if you want my money, make it happen. Come on, mate.
Jim says we're worth it. $70 games, we're worth it. Yeah.
Jim is in our chat every now and again. Where is he? I saw him earlier. Yeah. Jim Ryan comes into our chat every now and again.
Him and Phil show up every once in a while.
Yeah, they like to kind of dip in, see how things are going.
The totally
Spot Killer's been gone.
Phil and Jim, totally real. 100% real.
Yep.
Okay, so yes, that's PlayStation Stars, which I'm praying comes to Australia, but let's be honest, it probably won't.
And GE Force now is in Australia. It's very good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a Nvidia Shield.
Oh, you do?
Give it a go. Yeah, I've got a Shield. It's an older one. But it's a pretty cool little device. But I'm not going to start a Shield tangent. Let's not do that. Okay, now we've hit the part of the show. I'm sure Jesse knows what he's doing, where we would like to thank our patrons. As many of you know, we have a Patreon where if you love what we do and you want to keep supporting what we do, you can join our Patreon. We have a bunch of tiers that get you know, if you just want to just support to say, hey, we've got a $1 tip jar, we've got $3, we've got $12. As you go up, you get more and more stuff. Ad-free browsing on the forum. You can get merch. You can get all sorts of stuff. Something
that
we
ad-free
don't
browsing's
list.
Good, is because we have a lot of ads.
Yes, yes. One thing that's not mentioned on the Patreon, it's just something a developer friend of ours, Anorexic, and I organized just as a thank you and a support. Anorexic gave us a bunch of codes for a game he made, a collector's, what's it called? Collector's I can't even remember what the
Creators Collection.
Game called Omega Rally Championship. He gave us a whole bunch of codes for that game, and for every patron gets a code for Omega Rally Championship. Creators Club, yeah. Creators Collection, something like that.
It's Creators Club.
Yes. Everyone gets a code for Omega Rally Championships. That's not listed on the Patreon. It's just something we do. You can see it here. I said when I first played it, the handling model and driving model on that game is so good. It is so good. But yes, you're seeing footage of it.
That's the RC Pro-Am like game, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Very similar.
Yes.
Such a cool little game. I love the driving model on it. It's so it's all one stick. You do it all on one stick, and you just go around. It's so good.
And we are looking to add in some more incentives on the Patreon, so keep an eye out on that. Maybe some John getting back into streaming.
Yeah,
fingers crossed.
You will also get your name mentioned on the show, as you can see now across the bottom. That's all our patrons, our $12 and above tiers. So yes, we do appreciate.
And there's Jim Ryan in chat.
Jim Ryan, there he is. See,
hey, Jim,
mate. Jimbo, we've got to get you on the show, mate.
Congrats on PlayStation Stars.
It looks
like a good service.
Yes, PlayStation Stars looks great, Jim. Good stuff.
Let me know when Returnal's coming to PC. I'd like to play that one.
Oh, don't you remember? I showed you the video.
I know. I said when, not if.
Now, another perk for being a patron is that you get to ask. We have a little special sealed off section of the forum just for patrons. And we post that we're going to have an episode of the show every week, and you can ask questions, which we will read out on the show. And it is that time now. We don't have too many, which sometimes is a good thing when the show's running a bit long. I'm actually surprised this show went as long as it did, probably because we got Colt on, which helped a lot. Thank you very much for jumping on again, by the way.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Because you're very big and important, and we're nobody. So,
oh my gosh,
very much appreciate
big slice of break.
Making the time to jump on our little 2-bit.
It's always fun to be here, man. It's always a good time.
Yes.
And when I have you guys on, it's always super fun. So,
you know, Gaz and I still randomly watch that clip from your show where he and I are laughing uncontrollably.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and it took me so long to key in because I don't watch I watch the YouTube stream, which is like 9 seconds behind. And I'm like,
really?
What's going on? Yeah, all that time while you were building up the laughter, I had no clue what was going on.
Oh my God, we still just randomly watched that clip.
So
my
funny.
God, it was so funny. Gaz was so out of it. He was so out of it. And he had no idea what either of us was saying.
I bet you he is just as out of it right now with it being over 100 degrees Fahrenheit.
Well, I messaged Gaz too. I messaged Colt and Gaz at the same time. I'm like, John has no power. I need a co-host. Can you jump on? And Gaz is like, man, he's like, it's so hot here. He goes, I wanted to get off my own show because it was so hot. He's like, I can't. He goes, I can't do it anymore.
They don't have AC.
I'm like, okay.
I can't imagine.
No, I don't know why they don't just go buy a window unit and stick it in the window.
I bet you everyone probably did, and you can't find them anymore.
See, I love the heat. I love the heat. Like, if I didn't have young children.
You're insane.
If I didn't have young children, I wouldn't even turn the air conditioning on. I just leave it off.
Really?
Bring it. The hotter, the better. Bring it. I just love it when it's hot. We're being asked to show the clip again. Do we have the clip?
I don't know if I still have it or not. Let me see.
Let me find. I've bookmarked a tweet because that's what I just go back and I watch it.
Okay. To show it, I would have to. I can show it if you find it.
Here. I've got the tweet. I'm gonna DM you the tweet in what's it called? Discord. Yeah.
What's it called?
What's it called? Play the clip because it is.
I don't even
funny.
remember what you were laughing about.
And then when Colt, you see the moment Colt realizes what's happening, and he cracks up laughing when he realizes what's going on. Oh my God, it was so funny.
Okay, we're gonna play.
We're at community questions now. We'll play the clip. That's okay.
Gaz, what do you think?
Oh, what was the question?
So good.
I think that they should put games in the. It's 3:15 a.m.
No,
Gaz,
who's your Twitter?
Gaz,
Sorry, what was
no, Gaz, you're so awesome. You're multitasking, son of a
what
gun.
was the question?
Nick and I are of the opinion that they should throw PC games that are partnered in onto the console and say, sorry, no controller support.
Yeah.
I absolutely think they should. I'm still of that opinion. We're moving on. Dark CMFs with a $2 thank you, Dark. It says Redfall. You know what?
I love it. Are you watching it, Colt?
Because I am exactly
That's so good.
And he knows it. He'll be talking to me. I'll be like, everyone's like, I was trying to hold the show together. But
you're not watching it, and then you watch, and then you
because like everyone's like, I love how Colt's trying to hold the show together, but I literally had no idea that you guys were like holding in laughter and losing it until it was too late. One more time. Are you ready? Wait, I gotta look at the feed because Nick is totally
like wiping
dying on camera. If you're watching XNC on the audio only,
there you go. Then
Gaz wasn't paying attention, and now both of my co-host and my special guest.
Oh my God, it's the best. It's such a good clip.
Themselves, but you guys are amazing.
Okay, are we done?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
are we done?
Because YouTube's on delay. Like I'm watching it on my phone, but YouTube's on delay.
Even on the super short one, it's still like 5-6 seconds.
Yeah. It's so good. Anyway, so community questions, and there's not too many, so we won't keep you too much longer, Colt.
Okay.
Nice short.
Another 3 hours. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. So the first community question, which is more of a comment, is from Jesse Brother. Delightful question number 1. How are you gents going? We're going okay. We're going as good as can be.
They said doing. How are you gents doing? That just makes more sense in English.
Same thing.
How you going? How's it going, mate? How are you, Colt? How are you doing?
Yeah, but we're American.
I'm all right. It has been weird though. It has been weird ever since that showcase. The news has been different, and there's been a lot of negative stuff in the news. So that's been a little weird. But yeah, it's getting better every day.
Yeah, it is.
Just to be honest, right?
Trucking. Yeah. Keep on trucking. No, we appreciate honesty on this show.
I mean, like the 2022 situation for Xbox, like I was really hoping that they would like pick up some surprise for Game Pass, like to kind of make
Yeah.
up for the deficit, because Xbox knows they've never had this situation where in 20 years of the
Literally
Xbox
nothing.
where they haven't had a big first party
Literally
showing.
nothing.
Yeah, it's never happened. And I just thought like maybe Sarah and Phil would be thinking, hey, let's do something about this. Let's open up the checkbook and let's get something, like whether it be Gotham Knights, even like, hey, we're gonna put Gotham Knights day and date. We're gonna spend the money to kind of make up, like things just didn't line up for us.
Yeah. I did miss out. I did miss out an opportunity. I just realized to go, how you gents doing?
Oh my gosh.
I did. I missed out on my chance to reference Friends. But, you know, towards the second half of the year, there may be some surprises. I have been told that I believe Microsoft plans to bring XO back this year. I think XO 22 is on the cards this year. At least that's
they're
their
all about
plan.
in-person stuff again.
Yeah, all things being equal, world events allowing, COVID permitting. Because remember, COVID's exploded in most countries again.
And monkeypox
everywhere. It's like in Melbourne, we're in the middle of winter here, and COVID is just taking off again all over Australia, to the point where they're now talking about masks again. Like they want everyone to put masks back on, and they want people to potentially work from home again, and it's like just exploding all over. So if COVID does that again, then they probably wouldn't bother with XO, because all of a sudden in-person events are a big no-no. So that's why I said, and that's why I kind of haven't sort of rumor milled it or anything like that, because that's their plan. They would like to bring XO 22 back, all things being equal. But mate, 5 months is a long time. 4 or 5 months is a long time, and I'll lock
it is. And they're, they want E3 back in 11 months. Everything's in flux. I'm getting tired of flux. I want everything to go back to normal, and I want everyone to be
hope
safe and happy.
I'd love XO. XO would be great if it could come back. I always felt like XO had always at least one or two really big announcements. And given the year they've had game-wise, something like XO 22 would probably be really good.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, that was quite a tangent. This is usually the time where I try to be funny and sarcastic and break balls. But today I'm in a mood where I just want you guys to know how much I love your forum, your podcast, your producer. He's like a brother to me. You guys do a great job. And by the way, Joe was an all-time great guest last week. I enjoyed that thoroughly. Yeah, we said that earlier when Colt came on. Joe was really good.
Yeah.
On our show, he swore profusely. And we went on a tangent about the word see you next Tuesday and how that gets applied in Australia and the UK versus America. That was quite an interesting tangent.
So, something interesting happened on when Gaz and I had Joe on the show was the viewership that week was lower than normal, because
I saw that. I noticed
you've got one dev on, you're talking about one game. So of course the people who are looking to see what the hottest new thing is aren't there. But the response was like, if I get a few people say, hey, I really enjoyed your show on Monday, I had 10 times more people.
That's right. That's what happens with those episodes.
And because when I looked at it for us, the watch time, even if the views were okay to decent, the watch time was way higher because everyone just stuck with it so much longer.
It was really special because it's such a privilege to have somebody who makes games. Like, one of our favorite hobbies is to play video games, and for someone who makes games, that works on a team, to sit on your show is a major privilege. No matter how many people are interested in the game or that type of discussion, feel really fortunate to be able to do that. I'm glad we all got that opportunity.
Yeah,
right. No, we really love having those sorts of guests on, those devs and industry people. They're good. They're really good.
His happiness when they started charting on Steam, like he couldn't handle it. It was.
I think he mentioned it because I watched your show, Colt, and I saw him mention it, that on our show, apparently he got notification that Hypercharge was a top seller on Steam live on the show.
Yeah,
he's like, I just need to jump off and like tell my partner. He just like left his chair and just disappeared.
Oh, no way.
And me and John are like, yep, we're just waiting for him to come back. And then, it was so funny. He was so happy. It was good.
That's got to be amazing.
Yeah.
Got another really super chat.
Oh, did we?
Silent Cipher.
Oh, yeah, wow. Silent Cipher. $10 super chat. Thanks for the show today and getting the awesome Colt Eastwood as a guest. Appreciate the content. You're giving me something to enjoy while cleaning the smoker this evening. Thanks again. Cheers. Is that like a meat smoker?
Yeah, that's actual grilling. Like grilling that's barbecuing. So it's the super long cooking over very low heat with smoke
the
that
slow
sort of
cook,
permeates.
where you slow cook something over like 12 hours.
That's
or whatever
barbecuing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thanks for that. And yes, I'm going to keep saying thanks to Colt because he did not have to jump on last second and sit through this, and he did. So I am very appreciative.
I don't care what Nick says about you all the other times. I think you're a swell gentleman for
that's
like
I only say those bad things sometimes.
Sometimes.
Okay. Hytham G. So, there you go. I mentioned industry people, and here's a question about it. Hytham G. Have you guys ever invited some of the members of Spawncast, the side MVG, along with Rogers Base, Scott the Woz, some of the Game Explain members, Good Vibe Games members, or whatever video game journalists on YouTube and on video game news outlets to your show? I mean, I try, but some people are harder. Yeah, some people are harder to reach than others. Some ignore you.
It's Saturday evening. I can't complain about people not being around on midday Saturday in the US.
Yeah, and some of those guys, their DMs are probably loaded and it's hard to keep up with stuff. So yeah, it's tough to reach out to some of those bigger content creators, and some of them I haven't even tried to because I know how busy they get and how inundated with messages and requests they get.
Nick has no shame.
I'm sure they would. But yeah, I mean, we try. We do try. Some people
Nick
get
tries so hard that he got Phil. I mean, that's just
there you go.
Hard he will try.
Yeah, like it's tricky sometimes. And as good as I am at annoying people, I don't like doing it. So it's one of those weird.
Yeah.
I think that helps though, because that comes through. If people can tell you're just kind of that person that will bother them no matter what to get what you want, versus somebody who really, it feels like you don't want to do this, but you are really genuinely interested in having them on the show. I think that comes through.
Because like I said, we're not like Colt. We don't have that big following that just commands that people come on the show.
Colt have an incredible voice.
Colt barely has to like even ask. He'll say, hey, in a DM, and they're like, Colt, I'll be on your next show. Done. And that's it. That's all he has to do. Where I've got to like scratch and claw and beg and harass.
Oh, I've done plenty of begging. I've done plenty of that. I brought Gaz on so I wouldn't have to have as many guests on because it gets it's tough. People are getting super busy. Hard. And I don't have like asking somebody like Spawncast, like Spawn Wave, I don't talk to him. Like I don't have a rapport with him. So I don't want to bug him to come on my show because he doesn't know me. Like we don't have a back and forth because we're not in the same circle of discussion very often. So I don't want to bug somebody on, hey, I don't know you, but come, hang out with me for 2 hours. It's an interesting thing being in a podcast for sure.
It is. And like real life comes up. Like for the last month, Jeff Grubb was supposed to come on at some point, but stuff kept coming up and whatever. So I think we have Jeff on next weekend. Jeff's supposed to be coming on. I watched Last of the Nintendogs and I gave them a super chat and they were like, yeah, I was supposed to be on his show. I'll go on next week. He's supposed to be on. So hopefully Grubb will be on next week. But yes, that is another tangent about trying to get guests on a podcast. It's tougher than people think.
Yeah.
Unless you're like an IGN or a Kind of Funny that can just click their fingers and make it happen. Tangent, sorry. Also, the whole thing about Genshin Impact related thing was the part where I was expecting to trigger a rumor that it might come to Xbox ecosystem or rumors that Microsoft is trying to make a deal with Hoyoverse, which was once MiHoYo. I don't even know if I'm saying these words right.
Sounds
Chinese names are hard to say correctly.
About that IP to come to Xbox. In fact, any updates about the game coming to Xbox by any chance? I mean, it's planned for Switch as far as it's in mobile, PC, and PlayStation. Your take on that game? Okay, I'm glad Hytham asked this question because this leads me to something where maybe I want to defend myself a little bit. So everyone claims that I make up my rumors, even though I have repeatedly showed DMs publicly that I get about the stuff I leak. And this is a perfect example where I say to people, if I was going to make stuff up, I would make stuff up that like think about it, right? Genshin Impact is a massive game, right? Huge game. Now, if I was to make up that Genshin Impact was coming to Xbox, that would be huge for XboxEra. We'd get tons of views on the podcast, tons of engagement on Twitter and on the website and all that. But I can't, I'm not going to make it up because I haven't been told it's coming to Xbox.
Right.
I'm just going to say to everyone 100 times, and for the people that hate my guts that happen to be watching, I don't make, if I was going to make stuff up, I would, I'd have a rumor mill every week so we can get maximum views on the podcast every single week. I don't know how else to say it.
How do you feel about the insider news circuit? Because it gets so messy and people get really angry.
They do.
And they point fingers and
impatient, extremely impatient,
super aggressive. Here I've been copying replies on Twitter from people saying, "Oh, this is the guy that lied about Sly Cooper," and it's he never gets anything right, and it's what are you talking about? Literally in the last month, we've had Persona come to Xbox. We had Jason Schreier report on Top Spin 5 in development, which we leaked a week before he reported on that. We had the Battlefield 2042 Season 1 launch thing, which I ran by Tom Henderson, and we did a co-report.
Yeah, he pushed the article right as we said it.
Yeah, so I got some stuff about Battlefield, which I ran past Tom, which he got confirmed. He wrote an article. I put it on the podcast. That was all just in the last month. That's 3 or 4 things in the last month, yet I'm completely 100% unreliable because of Sly Cooper. Well, that makes total sense.
People use the Dying Light 2 exclusive thing at me all the time. You're never right. And they put that one thing in.
That half came from me, didn't it? That Dying Light 2 thing.
Half came from you and half came from Rand. And
yes.
Yeah, it was also ACG. ACG was getting some crazy signals, and we were 3 of us were all kind of talking separately.
Yes.
It seemed like something that was really going on, and everything kind of fit into logistics or a logical reasoning. But people use anything.
He wasn't talking about Techland and Dying Light 2. But
did he do that to protect what he was talking about? Because everything sure sounded like Techland. He was saying Eastern Europe and all that stuff.
Well,
but
as I said back then, I was doing some of my own digging and spoke to a few people in the know. And based on what they all told me, I was 90% sure he was talking about Techland and Dying Light 2. Yeah. And the funny thing is, you had him on your show. He has never since addressed what he was talking about back then. He's never said what that game was that was multiplayer
or that studio
exclusive because Microsoft bought the studio. He has never since clarified who he was talking about then.
I think there was a mixed signal that was pointing to Techland and then
I think what happened was, this is what I think happened. Microsoft were in talks with Techland back a long time ago.
I think so too.
And I think what's happened is they must have, whoever ACG gets his info from, must have had him thinking it was basically a done deal. He's then gone with his rumor without naming Techland. And then it didn't happen. So he just sort of let it go and hoped it went away. Yeah. That's how I think.
Didn't Phil or somebody at Xbox Studios say that they wanted to pick up somebody from that part of the country or that part of the...
Yes.
Yeah. So it was... Everything was all kind of coming together. And in the video, of course, I said, this could be, this couldn't be, this might be, here's what they should do. But everyone looks at that thumbnail, says Dying Light 2 exclusive. And then they I gotcha.
Speaking, because you mentioned me in that video. I remember you mentioned me in that video. Speaking of acquisitions, though, looks like the Activision one's coming along.
Yep.
It's 30 days.
Seeing very little resistance so far. How are you feeling about your claim that you think it could happen by this holiday?
September, October. Yep.
You really think so,
October.
Huh?
I'm sticking to it. Well,
wow.
The FTC has 30 days.
Very good. They know how to play American politics. They really know how. So at least here, I don't think it's going to meet resistance. It just depends.
It's
if
more
Europe. Other major markets.
That'll be interesting. Europe will be more interesting. But yeah, T minus 30 days for the FTC to put in an objection or whatever it is they're supposed to do. That's going to put us in August.
Yeah, if they ask
September,
for
October.
more information, so it's like they got 30 days. Yep. Do they need more from Microsoft after this has been submitted? If not, then
Bungie's went through, Haven's went through.
They're private, a lot easier. Like Bungie took about the same amount of time that Bethesda did.
Yeah, they are too. That's true. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. I didn't think of that.
We got
I'm still very tired.
From the Faisal.
Yes, Faisal. Congrats on the 3-year anniversary, chaps. Yes, that's right. We did. We technically had our 3-year anniversary of the podcast. It could almost be 3 years to the day, now that I think about it. Maybe. John put out a tweet from the Twitter account about our 3-year anniversary. And I quote tweeted that, talking about how humbling it was to have Phil on. Phil liked that tweet, which was good. Nice. He didn't reply to it, but he liked it at least. But yeah, 3 years we've been doing this podcast. God, it doesn't feel like it's been
2 days. Long. July 14th, 2019.
Oh, nearly to the day. And look who we've got on for the anniversary. Look at that. We've got Colt on for the anniversary. Look at that, eh? Who says I don't get special guests on?
Definitely better than episode 1 was.
Episode 117, and we got someone better than Master Chief on. We got Colt.
At least I'm on time, right? Yeah. Well,
yes.
A little bit.
Yeah. You took a little while to reply, but that's okay. It was very last second. That's fine.
Yep. For such a last second request, I think it's pretty admirable.
Yeah.
Timing.
Like I said, I was very, very appreciative that you made the time.
No problem.
I'll buy you something.
Probably a Fortnite skin. That's all he buys.
Yeah, I'll gift you a Fortnite skin. You've got an Epic Games account, don't you?
I think so. I mean, I played the game.
Yeah, surely. You have to.
You play Fall Guys.
A skin or an emote.
Yeah, I played a little bit of Fall Guys. My 11-year-old son played Fall Guys yesterday for the first time and was number 1 in the first qualifier. We were going crazy. Like, he got in front of the entire pack on the first qualifier, and then I think he finished 5th on his very first time. He was pretty excited.
Did you see Pusheen? They're doing Pusheen skins in Fortnite. My daughter saw that and lost her mind. She's like, Papa, I want to buy the Pusheen skins. I was like, all right, we'll see what happens. You need real money for that. Man.
Yeah, it's the cash cow, baby.
Skins. More money on digital skins, Fortnite skins. My son wants Rocket League money, so I got to get him Rocket League money because he buys stuff in Rocket League as well. Mate, my kids are all about games as a service. They don't even touch single-player games. All they play is games as a service games.
Learn from the worst.
Them. Oh, my God. Anyway. Hugh. Oh, mate, all about the tangents. Here I was thinking this would be like a 15-minute episode.
You always say that, and then I'm like, do you hear yourself? You go for 15 minutes on one tangent.
Today it was Colt, because Colt's been doing the tangents today. It's not me.
Hey, yeah.
Okay.
I'm good for it.
Hugh. Howdy, guys. Just a couple of short ones this week, I promise. With Google Stadia offering... Oh, by the way, Hytham G, no. I've heard nothing about Genshin Impact. With Google Stadia offering 4K 60 HDR back in 2019, why do you think it's taking xCloud so long to reach the same feat? xCloud is currently 1440p with no HDR. Lastly, do you think Xbox gets the hard end of the stick with its studios? I often see people state Xbox needs a JRPG studio or needs a fighter studio, etc. But PlayStation doesn't have these either. Most of the PlayStation studios all concentrate on the same genre, but don't receive the same criticisms. Okay, on the xCloud thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
I assume the xCloud thing is an infrastructure and load issue. Like, you got to remember, it's easy to say Google Stadia has 4K 60, but Google Stadia has like 4 people using it. So they don't have the same bandwidth clog issues that xCloud would have. xCloud probably has tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands.
The moment Fortnite hit it, it exploded.
Yeah,
am I allowed to say?
Yes.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not going to take
the
gamble.
Don't be a bitch. Do it.
I was going to say something related to Fortnite and xCloud that I don't think I'm allowed to.
Well, you've intimated too much now. You just do it.
Oh, look. I'm sure Fortnite on xCloud is probably I'm sure Epic and Microsoft are very happy with how Fortnite is doing on xCloud.
I'd imagine so.
Surely I won't get in trouble for that.
That's just
Free to play a
speculation.
game,
That's just
making
your
money.
opinion.
I'll find out soon. If I see my little Discord go bloop, bloop,
Tim
bloop,
Sweeney
then
goes,
I'll know I'm sitting. I know. I'm just looking at it. I've got the Discord tab up there, and I'm waiting for the number to go bloop 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 bloop. Anyway, what was I saying? Yes. So Google Stadia has like 3 people like using it, so they can do 4K 60 without a problem.
And there are also bespoke versions of the games with Google. That's why there's not that many Stadia games, and they have to spend 20 million
they're
to get Red Dead.
they're PC versions of a game, so they're run on PC
Linux.
hardware. This is still console. xCloud is still console. They're using the Series X server blades. They were on 1S server blades before. Onwards and upwards. It's getting better and better.
They'll get to 4K 60.
And if you run through Edge browser and you use that clarity boost, it looks really nice. Like it gets a lot cleaner image.
Upscaling as a technology is going to be game changing, and for this industry and the longevity of the industry, and upscaling. I reckon that's where a lot of money needs to go into upscaling tech.
I was told by somebody at Xbox that we aren't even into next generation yet. And once we get into full games where games are actually built for next generation hardware, which we still have not really seen, the games are going to be more CPU intensive, is where Series S and X will come out on top because they have faster processors. And with FSR and super resolution, the Series S will be able to hold up in visual quality and performance to even the PS5.
Yeah.
A big thing's going to be sampler feedback streaming for the Series S because it has such a small memory footprint. And once that's up and running, and if it gets mass adoption, that effectively gives you like 2 or 3 or even 4 times as much system memory to play with, because all those textures, you're chopping off the parts you don't need when they're not being shown. So there's always talk about the tools, and it's legit, just no real time frame yet.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of that stuff is arrived on the development kit, but I mean, name these games that have been next generation that we played, especially the multiplats.
The only ones that
we played
they're doing it because they want to say they have a next gen thing. Like you could get Ratchet and Clank running on a PS4. You just have longer loads because most of those portals are just actually already loaded. Like when they had the glitch and it showed the portal actually just pulls you down in the level. It's not fully loading in a whole new level.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's Forza and Starfield are the first ones, and Redfall. That'll where we finally see it.
And those games have been created long into the Xbox One generation as well. So without knowing that hardware target when they first started, like nothing has been built just for next generation.
Their delays, I think, will help because now they're going to be coming out a full year and a half after the systems come out, where there are more things available. So I do think it's going to be closer to it. But yeah, like you don't see the best of a generation until 3, 4, 5 years in. Yeah.
Look at Halo 4.
Oh, man, that game that's like one of the best looking games on the 360.
Ever.
Yeah.
Just ever on any platform. It's stunning. But my God, so many tangents. With the studio thing, look, we've talked about this before. You know, the single player over the shoulder slow walk and talk games, they're still, you know, in fashion. The media keeps pushing them as super relevant and the most important games ever, and they win the awards. And Sony makes high rating ones, so that's why they get a pass on basically making nothing else. I've always said I prefer the variety Microsoft has. I prefer the variety Nintendo has. I don't want to just play the same game. I still haven't bought Horizon Zero Dawn and Forbidden West. I probably won't. Like
I have. I wish I would have waited. I mean,
to me, just I don't know. I liked Zero Dawn. Zero Dawn.
I loved it, but I don't even want to go back to this one because I feel like I just played Horizon Zero Dawn and I'm just playing it again.
That's right. That's how, and that's why I'm not super pumped for God of War. Like, I loved 2018. I voted for it for Game of the Year. It was my Game of the Year 2018, God of War. Loved it. And it's my favorite PlayStation franchise. but what I've seen of the new one, I'm just like, okay, that just looks like the same game.
I mean, you could say
Like,
the same thing about Gears 4 and Gears 5, but they changed. They kind of shook it up with Gears 5. You got a different protagonist, and you've got some semi-open world. They changed some of the mechanics, so
you can play as Jack.
Yeah, I guess
it's actually really fun playing as Jack.
I have fought with Jesse many times. I wasn't a fan of Gears 4 and Gears 5. I'm done with those games. I'm just done with those third person over the shoulder.
Oh wait, give them me.
I'm just done with it. It just all feels the same to me, regardless of whether it's PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo. Yes, like everything.
Gears 5 feels like they're chasing a PlayStation game, and it's a really good game. But I have to wonder, when are those games going to be out of fashion? When is it going to be out of fashion to do the third-person action open world game, just like some other games have gone out of style? I like them a lot, but
I think as long as the media keeps pushing them,
the fans have to like them too to buy them. And like Ghost of Tsushima was really good, but it was a Ubisoft game basically, but it's really good.
That's most of what they've made lately have been the Ubisoft template.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though. You say that it needs fans to buy them. Most of these games don't sell a ton of copies. It's still the games as a service games
Spider-Man
making all
is the
money. Oh, of course there's exceptions. Even God of War,
that is it. Like the other ones, they don't talk about the sales at a ton.
Yeah, that's right. There's plenty for every Spider-Man that does 20 million on the back of the size of that IP. There's a whole bunch of Days Gones and Forbidden Wests and all these other ones that don't sell as much, but they don't talk about that.
I do think that genre really is going to need more focus on gameplay, because they've pulled away too much. And I think The Last of Us 2 helped by going for the gameplay, but then the game was just so long.
Oh, that game. I still haven't gone back to it. It's just so long.
I finished it at launch. Yeah, I finished it at launch. The gameplay, the combat got really good toward the latter half, but the story was so depressing and
just miserable slog.
Griefing. I'm sorry.
It's just a miserable slog, and I can't. And I haven't even.
That's what's happened a bit with Gears. Gears is getting so miserable in the story that I'd like them to just kind of win once. It always feels like they win, but then something bad happens. But the one big thing with Gears 5 for me with the Series X version, when they did that, it wasn't only like the ridiculous graphical upgrade they did for free. It was the fact that the shooting got so much better. Because if you go back and play Gears 5, if you've got a disc and you can play it before it was patched and changed, like on the 1 or the 1X, it is way looser than it feels more like a first-person shooter now. Yeah, that's one thing that has kind of gotten forgotten is the DLI, the dynamic latency system that they put into controllers. And if you go back and you've got an old controller and an old console and you play the same games now, it's very noticeable, even on like a good monitor.
Yeah.
Just focusing on
there are exceptions. There are exceptions to the rule for me on those third-person games, like the Dead Space remake. I will be playing the crap out of that. Oh,
yeah, Protocol.
Yeah. Dead Space is so good. Oh my god!
Mass Effect, which I just started up again for a review. Oh my god! Even Mass Effect 1 in the Legendary Edition, just the gameplay changes they made there. Oh, it's so good.
It's really good. Yeah, I really enjoyed the small improvements they made to Mass Effect 1.
Brilliant.
It was amazing. Yeah, Hive Busters was amazing.
Yeah, Hive Busters great. They need to do more of that.
Yes, more.
If you go back and play Gears 3 with the enhancements, now it runs 4K 60, so it looks really good, but it doesn't feel as snappy and good as Gears 4 and 5, in my opinion. Yeah. So I don't know.
Okay.
Whatever.
Yes. More tangents. Woohoo.
Yeah.
Creaky Legs. Hello, lads. I was going to have my long rant about the new Resident Evil show being terrible here. I haven't seen that yet. But instead, I will spare you that. What the hell have you boys been watching lately? Jesse, as well, if he's been watching anything. I've been watching Peaky Blinders on Netflix, which is so good if you're into period piece gangster stories. I may or may not have bought a newsboy hat because of it and drink everything out of my scotch glass now. If I still casually smoked, I'd be doing that too. Also, I was followed by the GoldenEye documentary Twitter recently, which I didn't know was even a thing. And I almost freaked out thinking it was the game because it's verified and would have deleted my entire game library because I only need that game for the rest of the time. Wait, there's a GoldenEye documentary Twitter. Why the hell doesn't it follow me? No one has been championing GoldenEye more than me. Why the hell doesn't it follow me? Peaky Blinders.
I'm probably creeped out by you. It's too much.
My parents keep going on about Peaky Blinders. I've got mates that are like, have you seen Peaky Blinders? I'm just not a gigantic fan of that time period. I should probably give it a go. Hey, Silent Cypher just tagged me on Twitter with his smoker. Yeah, there it is. That's cool.
Neat.
I'm just worthless at that sort of stuff. I can't cook. I can't. I'm not a handyman. I don't cook. I cook desserts quite well. But I don't cook real stuff. I'm not a handyman. I nearly killed myself changing a PowerPoint once. I'm not even joking. I almost died. I laughed about it at the time. And then my uncle, who is a handyman, was like, why are you laughing? You're an idiot. You nearly died. I'm like, it was just funny. I felt a zap. So yeah. Peaky Blinders, no. What am I watching? We've exhausted just about everything. Like my wife and I we're watching Loot on Apple TV Plus at the moment with Maya Rudolph.
Oh, okay.
Go watch Loot. If you have Apple TV Plus, go watch Loot. There's the new season of Physical, which is almost finished. We're going through that with Rose Byrne, who has bulimia. She has bulimia in this show, and it's very dark. But it's really, really good. Physical on Apple TV Plus, Loot on Apple TV Plus. We've exhausted almost everything else.
Yeah, most things have ended.
Yes, Westworld has started again, but I'm struggling. Like, I watched the first 3 seasons of Westworld, but I'm struggling to find the drive to watch this 4th season.
This one's better than 3. I really like the intrigue at the start and where it's going is very good.
I hated 3.
It's back more to what 1 and 2 were, and less 3, where 3 was like more the big open world, and 1 and 2 more about these parks and everything. It's been a very intriguing start to season 4 of Westworld.
There they are, the GoldenEye documentary. Why don't they follow me?
I never heard of you.
Whatever. Like, I'm the one
that'd be a valid reason.
No one champions GoldenEye more than me. No one.
It'll be squeaky wheel, and then you'll get some grease.
Come on. I'm going to send him a DM and demand that they follow me. God. Come on. Seriously, what's going on here?
All right.
This is bullshit.
2 hours now.
Oh, yeah. Wow. We're nearly done. We've only got 3 questions left. And one of them is basically a repeated question. DeoGame. Hi all. Market conspiracy theorist analysts are going all Pepe Silvia over the idea that Microsoft will buy Netflix, myself included. Oh my God, yes. How did we not discuss that? The future are content wars. Sony, Amazon, Google, Tencent, and Meta have a leg up here. Do you think Netflix would be a good fit for Microsoft to have a diverse slate of content? This will give them holdings in film, literary, comic books, mobile games, and more. Oh my God, my brother rang me. He's like, did you hear Microsoft might be buying Netflix? I'm like, man, Microsoft's not buying Netflix. I'm like, that's not going to happen. It would be funny if it did. Like, it would give them a big boost in install base, wouldn't it? Like, imagine that. Imagine if they could then leverage Netflix to go, yep, here's Game Pass Ultimate combined with Netflix. It'd be like, they would literally become the Netflix of gaming because they bought them.
NetPass.
Like, it's just...
Maybe it would mean that I finally would start watching Netflix shows again because I stopped because they just cancel everything after a season or 2.
Not everything. Grace and Frankie got to 7 seasons.
Never heard of it.
We just finished watching Grace and Frankie. That had its final season with Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin. It's a good show. Martin Sheen as well. If you haven't seen Grace and Frankie, I almost said Flanky. If you haven't seen Grace and Frankie, it's a pretty good show on Netflix. Stranger Things 4.
Yeah, that was very good.
Amazing. We just finished up Stranger Things. Do you watch Stranger Things, Colt?
Yep. Finished it all.
How good was it? That was really good.
Very, very good. Very good. Yeah. It's like a mini movie every episode. Yeah, it's awesome.
Oh, the last episode was literally a movie. It was 2.5 hours. Like, what the hell?
Yep. And the one before it was also a shorter movie at an hour and a half. It was crazy.
Oh,
but they were good. It gave them time. Like nothing ever felt rushed. And I was into every single storyline because they all got their own time.
Looked good too. You could see the money went in to the visual effects.
And the time.
It looked better than most of Marvel's recent stuff.
That's the problem with most of Marvel stuff is that it's coming out so fast that they never have the time. And Netflix gave them.
Did you see on Reddit all those anonymous?
Yeah, that's the issue.
VFX
they don't pay well,
that,
and they want it fast.
Marvel. They hate Marvel. They're like the worst client. Don't get me wrong. I've had some developer friends tell me stories about Marvel working with Marvel in game development. And funny how it seems to align with a lot of what we're hearing on the VFX side as well. So it sounds like Marvel's just not a great partner to work with in general, which is unfortunate to hear because I love Marvel. But I don't think Microsoft will buy Netflix. They've got that partnership, which we didn't talk about. So Microsoft's going to be powering their ad.
Yeah, so a
version,
new tier of sub where there's ads shown, which Netflix fought for a very long time. Finally gave in so they can offer a cheaper one that's subsidized more by there being ad breaks in between. And hopefully it's not like Hulu. Hulu has way too many ads on their ad friggin' version, so I'm hoping it's not like that. Yeah, it's real bad.
I don't know. Like we've got our free-to-air channels here have streaming apps as well, but they're free. So they're it's literally like watching free-to-air TV with a ton of ads that you can't get away from.
That's what Hulu ends up being like.
But at least that's free, though. They're free. So it's hard to complain too much. What are you going to do? It's free.
And I still think covered the next question too.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I still think if Microsoft was going to buy one, it'd be one of Discovery. Personally, I think that's who they would go for because then they get the game side of it as well, not just the movie, TV show IPs.
I want to see that Wonder Woman game. I love Monolith. I cannot wait to see that.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's much better than the movies because those movies are terrible.
It's going to be
hard. Dirty Flint. Hello, fam. Watch any good shows lately? We just covered that, Dirty Flint.
Let's rewind.
Literally just covered that. We already answered your question. So we're on the last question. Good old Collingwood. Mate,
really big.
We have won 8 games in a row for the first time since 2012, Collingwood. It's been a decade since we've won 8 games in a row. We are on a roll. Watch the footy yesterday. So good. Hello, John, Nick, and Jesse. So I'm going to replace John's name with Colt. Hello, Colt, Nick, and Jesse. And whoever else from the XboxEra crew that is invited to participate. Quick Friends question. How many clip shows were there in Friends? It's blurred here because he's spoiling
he blurred
it on
it
our forum.
Yeah. People at home can cheat.
How many? Well, John's not here to answer, so I'm going to do my best. How many clip shows?
I don't know. I never watched it.
There was quite a few. They did do quite a few, like The Simpsons did. It's in that. It's in like 5 or 6 or something like that. I'm going to guess. I'm going to take a stab in the dark because I know it's in this range. I'm going to say 6.
Yeah, you
can. I unblur it?
Believe you. I'll never believe that you didn't unblur it. You definitely unblurred it and then said 6.
I just read the question now.
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about?
But you unblurred it. I know.
I was up till 2 a.m. Like I was not unblurring questions. Why? Is it 6?
You unblurred it.
Oh, it is. It's 6.
You've already. Oh, yeah. Well, look at this acting job. You know he had already.
Oh, get lost, man. I was up till 2 a.m. I was tired as this morning. I wasn't going through any of the questions. If I was going through the questions, I would have asked 30 Flints with Creaky Legs. Yeah, you heard a click because I just unclicked that.
As you brought it up, I heard you click right as you brought it up.
Bonus points for answering which seasons. Oh, forget it.
Oh, God. No.
I couldn't tell you the seasons. I'll just unblur that now because I've got no idea. It'd be the more later seasons going back to old. Well, there you go. 4th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th.
BRiT gets in chat.
That's all the latest seasons. Now, if you remember 2 weekends ago, we didn't have a podcast because of various reasons. If for some reason this happens again, look, I'm going to do my best for that not to happen again. It still burns me inside that we missed an episode.
I was there ready to go.
Do you think a compilation of the best bits of the XboxEra podcast could be cobbled together as a replacement? it would be called the XboxEra Clip Show. You know, you probably could, given how often we repeat topics and I repeat myself as often as I do, you could probably just put an episode
I could
together.
make a show that's like 5 hours long of you talking about Rocket League and Fortnite.
Yeah, like you could just do what have we been playing, because all I play is Rocket League and Fortnite. So you just replay one of those segments, just throw in a bit about me talking about Greek food. That could go for like 20 minutes. Then you throw in a bit about me talking about TV shows and movies, and John going back. We talk about Friends.
I noticed none of this is John talking. It's all about you.
Yeah, I know. Because John skips episodes. I don't. I'm the dedicated one.
You did. We were going to go and you skipped.
Man, look what it took for me to skip. I was in another state, had no idea what my internet was living in an apartment with my parents and my brother's family at the time, which I would have had to wake them up on a Sunday morning to get the show done. Like, look at what it took. It took a lot for me to miss
go
an
outside,
episode.
get a selfie stick, keep your phone up in front of you,
and it was still last minute. We had the episode queued up, ready to go. It was still very it took a lot to take me down. Like, come on.
I've never missed one.
Anyway,
I was there, ready to go.
What are you gonna do? I tried. That's fine. Anyway, that's it. That was the last question. So yeah, we clocked in at just over 2 hours. That's not too bad. So yeah, so that's it. So before we go, Colt, thank you again so much. I need to add you on Epic so I can buy you like a skin or an emote for Fortnite to say thank you for jumping on. Or
don't buy me anything. Just come to E3 in LA next year and we'll hang out.
just head on over to LA. Not a problem. I'm still annoyed I didn't get to come to Vegas. I don't know if I've told you this, Colt, but I'm not a big traveler. I don't like to travel much, even within Australia. I like my house. I like staying here.
Yeah.
And, finally, after years of bugging and pushing and all that sort of stuff, my wife convinced me. I was like, you know what? Bugger it. For my 40th birthday, which was in 2020, for my 40th birthday, let's go to Vegas. So I booked it all in, paid business class flights because I was not going to do a 14-hour flight economy. That just wasn't going to happen. So I booked the flights, booked the MGM Grand, all locked in. I was coming to Vegas. I was starting to organize with people in the Discord to meet them in Vegas, all the US people, the whole lot. I was really excited. When I booked that in, Colt? February 2020.
Oh my gosh.
So
oh my gosh.
1 month
before
later.
Everyone. Oh my gosh.
I finally booked in to come to the US, after so long of not wanting to travel. Finally booked it in for my 40th. And then bang, 1 month later, we were in lockdown. What are you going to do? Do?
That's how it goes.
I'll try again. To come to the US. I'd like to come. And I'll try and meet as many of you as possible. I'll try and queue it up.
Hopefully you don't get shot.
Well, that's what I'm also scared of. I'm scared of getting shot. Try and meet Colt. Try and meet,
I mean, random. Probably very random to you, though.
Jesse. Try and meet all different people from the Discord. I'll try and meet up with everyone. But you're all going to have
our channel's taken off. If we've taken off, we made a ton of money. We can go to E3 and I'll hang out. I mean, that won't happen, but if we could,
I'll try. Come to
get invited to Key 3.
I hear that LA. I hear that LA is not as pretty as the movies make it out.
No, if you like smog, it's great.
I hear it's
very much, very a lot of smog. Yeah.
I've had relatives.
It can be pretty if you go to the rich parts.
Okay. Because I've had relatives and friends that have been to LA and they're like, yeah, it's kind of gross. I'm like, okay. They're like, it's a little bit gross.
One street on LA will be absolutely stunning and incredible, and then you go a block over and it's just the worst beat up area you've ever seen. It's there's a lot.
You know what I'm hoping? If XO22 does come back this year, I'm hoping it's in Australia, and then you can all come down here.
Oh God, yeah.
You can all
I
come
got
down
I got
here.
an extra $4,000 in the bank. Sure, I can do that.
Yeah. It won't cost that much to fly to Australia, will it, Colt?
$15. I don't know.
$15.
I'll guarantee
okay.
you it's more than I have. How about that?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I'll still try and get Colt to come down. We'll get him to come down to Melbourne. Take him out to a few restaurants, a few cafes. He can experience the best coffee in the world down here in Melbourne. You'll love it, Colt. You'll love Melbourne. It'll be right up your alley, mate. Okay,
All right.
Colt, please tell us what you are up to and what you have going on.
I'm working on a super huge Starfield video. It's going to take me a couple weeks to put together.
Nice.
And I am thinking about reviewing a recent release or upcoming release for Xbox. So yeah, just kind of getting back into things as Xbox kind of has a little bit of content coming in, I guess. That's what I'm doing.
Fun. I love
Yeah.
that.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, as usual, we have a bunch of reviews coming. I've even done 2 reviews. That's how busy we are. Even I've done reviews, and I never
In a
do
dead
reviews.
month, we've had like 15 or something reviews already.
Yeah.
Crazy.
God, Klonoa was so good. Love that game. That review's doing
That one?
okay too.
Yeah,
Klonoa.
doing pretty good.
Doing all right. Yeah, Klonoa was fun. We have a bunch of stuff. We try our best to get as much content on the channel as possible. Jesse, what else have we got coming?
We've got As Dusk Falls coming. We've got games releasing, so I got to imagine. I actually don't know the embargo. John's working on it. So expect that one close to launch. I don't think Forza Horizon 5's DLC was sent out early. At least if it was, it wasn't to us. So I'll get one out for that within a day or two of launch. I've got a Bright Memory Infinite one coming soon. I got a Mass Effect Legendary
I've got to
Edition
play
one
that
coming
today.
soon. Yeah. So there's a lot more coming than you would think. Should be good.
Very good. Okay, so I think that's it. If we have nothing else, what are we at? Just over 2 hours, 2 hours, 10 minutes or so. Not too bad. It's pretty short and sharp. I thought it was going to be like a half-hour show. But luckily, Colt jumped on and had lots of tangents, and it became over 2 hours. So with that, we will let you all go. Thanks again, Colt.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome.
I'm going to buy you a skin.
Buy a son a skin.
Jesse, thank you for jumping on because John's power went out. That's why John's not on. So with that, we are going to say goodbye. We'll see you all next week. We should have Jeff Grubb on, hopefully, if he doesn't back out on me again. So, yes. Bye, Jesse. Bye, Colt. Everyone else, ciao for now.